Hey everyone, it's Jason. So today's video we're going to actually play a game of the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I already have everything set up, so this is going to be interesting. We'll see if this works or not. With the camera setup I have, it might be very terrible, but we'll see what we can do. But I have our power board set up over here. I have our main area. I'm going to play at the base 5 Rangers. I'm going to play a variation kind of the starter game, with some exception. I'm going to use extra things I have, like, tokens I have, like the board for the enemy cards, which I have extra stuff of. Plus I have dice for every character. But I'm going to play as all 5 Rangers of the original Power Rangers. So we're going to be playing as Yellow Ranger, Trini Kwan, Black Ranger, Zack Taylor, Blue Ranger, Billy Cranston, Pink Ranger, Kimberly Hart, Red Ranger, Jason Lee Scott, and I'm going to play with an extra variant of Alpha 5 as the anonymous support, or autonomous support as an AI. It's just an extra, kind of beginner deck. Rather than playing exactly like the scenario 0 where you take out some cards and stuff, I'm going to play with all the full cards, but I figure it's the extra Alpha card and support that might help me out. So we're going to see what happens there. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to do the 4 deployment instead of 5. I'm going to have my camera kind of set back. I'm going to hope that it'll still pick up all of my audio. And I can kind of keep track and let you guys know what's going on here. So we'll start off with kind of a full view so we can see the board. So the first thing we want to do in the game is do our deployment. So we have our deployment deck right here, and we're going to do, again, we're going to do 4 deployments. We're going to start with 2 Super Putties in Angel Grove Park. If I need to grab more of these guys, I will. Alright, so we got 2 guys there. Deployment 2, 2 regular Putties in the Industrial District. 1 Super Putty at Ernie's Juice Bar. And 3 Putties at Angel Grove High. Ooh, so I got kind of nice because everything kind of got sorted out. No one piled up at one area. Yeah, so now everyone's all in one spot, so it's kind of nice. So what we do is we can just take these, shuffle these back up. Slide them back under the deck, and they can get ready to come out later if they need to. Alright, I'm going to zoom up a little bit here. Alright, so now we have our deployment phase. So if you're not familiar exactly with how the Power Ranger game works, it's a co-op game, but instead of it being like player 1, player 2, player 3 go, you all have to actually work very well as a team. So I have my 5 Rangers in here going as Alpha hiding back there. And now I have to deploy each one of them to a different area. So if I zoom down here a bit and look at Billy's here. So Billy has his deck of 10 cards, which is basically his life. If his deck runs out, then you lose. Basically, your character is defeated, and you have to go back. You each have your special abilities. You have 1 energy you'll start with, so it helps to pay for your cards. There's also shared energy you can use from the base game, from the pool. And then you have 2 action tokens. Your actions are... Let's see if it's set on here. So your actions... I'm going to hold my rule book up here. So you can move from the one main location to another location. You can initiate a battle, and you can choose to recover, which lets you shuffle your discard pile back into your deck to gain your life back. Alternatively, if you ever go back to the command center, you can then reshuffle your entire deck. So if you're about to die, that might be something you have to do. But now what I have to do is determine how I want to sort my different characters out. And who I want to put where. So since everyone has a full deck of cards, I'm not as worried there. But I can kind of think of like who I think is the strongest or who can maybe take out the most guys. I don't necessarily want to. I want to try and clear out as many areas as I can, but I don't want to run the risk of not being able to take somebody out. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to take. So we're going to start with the Red Ranger. So he's going to move over to Angle Grove Park. And he's going to join the Pink Ranger. So they're both going to move over there. So now I have to do is flip over one of each of their tokens. I think I'm going to have the Black Ranger take care of this Ernie's Juice Bar by himself. And I'm going to have the Blue and Yellow Ranger each move over to there. Alright. So now I've moved everybody, and you can see I flipped over a couple of their tokens where you can kind of see that. That's showing they've each done one action. Now what you have to do is, starting with whichever player I want to start with, they can spend one of their actions to initiate a battle. Now, being that there's two Rangers, the pink and red and the yellow and blue are together, they can, each one of them can initiate one action. So I can do one round of battle. If I don't win, I can do a second round of battle. And no one's going to be in the industrial district unless for some reason I move someone there. And then everyone has special abilities they can do as well. So we'll look at them when I get into their combat. The other thing we want to look at before we start any of that is our special Alpha 5 card. So where's Alpha here? It says, at the start of each round, reveal the cards from the Alpha 5 deck to refill the row max 3. Any Ranger may discard one card from their hand to play an Alpha card from the row. After resolving it, place it back on the Alpha 5 deck. So it basically gives me extra options. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. What I did do is now I have a 20 card deck here because I shuffled both versions of Alpha 5 together. So I'm going to try and just see what that works like. I'm hoping this might give me just that extra boost. I might not need to use any of these cards. I'm going to try not to necessarily use them, but I thought it might be helpful to have the extra bonus. So we do have a couple different cards here. So we have Tactical Support. A Ranger of your choice may drop to 2 cards and immediately play 1. So basically I can, if I have a bunch of cards in my deck, I can gain an extra play for free. I can gain 3 energy, which would be super helpful for playing a big card. Or I have a 1-cost Coordinate card, so it costs me 1 of my energy tokens. Play this card before another Ranger performs an attack. Add 1 dice to the attack. That Ranger may return that card to their hand instead of discarding it. So that's actually super helpful. So I can give them an extra bonus, or I can let them have it back in their hand. So we'll just set those kind of off to the side, and we'll kind of have to keep an eye on those. I think who we're going to start with, since he only has, by himself, is we're going to start with Zack here, the Black Ranger. So, Zack Taylor's special ability is, if my camera will focus enough for you to read it, it says, once per battle, after you defeat an enemy with an attack, and they deal 1 hit to another enemy adjacent to your target. So he does good splash damage. So with that being said, maybe he wasn't the guy to put by himself. I just figured he might have more powerful attacks. But I forgot. He does have splash damage. But yeah, I haven't played all these characters or read all these characters enough. So we'll just see what happens. If I lose, I lose. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, so we're going to spend his other token to initiate a battle. So, what are our steps for initiating a battle? So we got, look at our book here. So you got Ranger Preparation. I had 2 energies to the shared pool, which is over by my Zord board. So that means now, technically, Zack has up to 3 energy he can use this turn. Now, every battle, you always add 2 energies. So, you might want to just use them up and not spend your personal energy if you don't have to, because that doesn't refill. Then enemy preparation. For each foot soldier, draw 1 card from the enemy deck. If a boss monster is present, draw 4 cards from their deck. And then enemy and ranger turns. On each ranger turn, the team chooses a ranger to play a combat card, and then the enemies go. So that's what also makes this game really unique. Is because if you have two players, like the pink and the red ranger, or blue and yellow, when they play, the rangers take a turn, then the enemies take a turn. Then the rangers, it's not necessarily blue ranger, then enemy, then yellow ranger, then enemy, then blue ranger. It could be blue ranger, blue ranger, blue ranger, then yellow ranger. It might just depend on what cards they have in their hand, who has the better option for the time being. Since we only have the black ranger, though, he is the only one that gets to do anything. So first thing I do is I get to draw up to 5 cards from my deck. Now, being this is my life, you only want to draw as many cards as you really think you can stand. Being the beginning of the game, I'm not really too worried about it. I'm going to draw 5 cards. And let's see what we got here. So we got Smooth Moves that cost 0. It says reaction. Play this card when any ranger suffers damage, reduce that damage by 2 and gaining energy. So that probably won't help me in this match. Reckless Blow, I get to roll 2 dice for the cost of 1. Before rolling, I may discard the top card of your deck to add 2 dice to this attack. So I can roll up to 4 dice. So that could be a good power attack. Mammoth Slam. Roll 2 dice. If there are 4 more cards in your discard pile, add 1 die to this attack. So again, that'll be helpful for later. And another Smooth Moves and another Reckless Blow. So yeah, he's got some good cards there. So I'm just going to play these down in front of me just so I can see what they all are. Got them kind of played down there. Now what we want to do though is look up at our... sorry for it. There's my EV play mat up there. So now we have 1 Super Putty. So we're going to draw 1 card from my Putty deck over here, which is way over there. And we're going to place that down and see what it does. So this card has 2 health, has fast and guard, and it's going to drain 1 energy. Alright, so this really sucks. So what fast does is that means the opponent gets to play first. So usually it's the rangers first, but fast means they get to go first. So right off the bat, they're going to... Guard would mean it would protect another card, but there's no other enemies, so that's not an issue there. Basically, guard means you can't attack the cards around it. You have to defeat this first. But this has 2 health, and it's going to drain 1 of my energy. So we're going to have... So now what's going to happen is the enemy's turn going to activate. This is going to turn sideways. He's going to drain 1 of my energy. I'm going to drain 1 from way... Let's see if I can get my camera way over here on this Zord board. This is my shared energy. I'm going to drain 1 of those rather than my personal energy because, again, that doesn't replenish. So now all you have to do is play to do 2 damage to that character to defeat him. So my best bet for him to be able to do this is probably to play Reckless Blow. So it's going to cost me 1, so I'm going to pay from that shared energy pile again. Because before rolling, I may discard the top card of my deck to add 2 to this attack. So I'll discard the top card of my deck, which is my Blade Blaster. Now I'll discard that, pay that 1 energy, and now I get to roll 4 dice. Alright. So now we're going to roll 4 dice. The dice are going to have 3 sides. We have a miss, we have a single hit, and we have a double hit. So I need to do is get hit at least 2 of these. So, alright, let's see what we got. Well, so we annihilated him. We got 3, 4, 5. So we just annihilated that guy's room. Now, if I wouldn't have beat him, that would have ended the round. Nothing would have happened. Now, if I had gone first, I could have possibly defeated that before he got a chance to attack. But that didn't unfortunately happen. So we beat him. Alright, so we'll put that back. So what happens here is this guy... Rotate my camera back over to my playboard. He goes over on this power board. Now, when that gets full, I get to move this up and I get to draw a Zord card. So the more enemies I can defeat, the better. Also on the board are these little numbers here. This is the panic spot. So when there's that many figures on that board or enemies, the board becomes panicked. If all 4 areas become panicked, I also lose the game. If a monster or a boss appears, it automatically panics it. There's rules for deployment stuff, so I want to try and take out as many of these guys as I can before a potential monster appears. So we've got Ernest's juice bar clear, so we can always, call that good. So now I take Zack's hand. I'm just gonna, turn it sideways next to his character down here. So I just have it turned sideways, face up, just so I know that's his hand. And I got his discard pile up there. Just so we know what's what. Alright. Let's resolve. Okay, so this goes away. We'll put that in that discard pile. Let's resolve Billy and Trini's. So what we do now is, since we have 2 Rangers, we have to take this Lead Ranger token. I have to decide who's initiating battle. They become my Lead Ranger. And that just affects because there's certain cards that will attack Lead Rangers. So we'll give that card to Trini, and we'll flip over her other action. So now, she can't perform any more actions this turn. Now, actions are, again, just the movement, or stuff like that. So it's still what Trini does. She has double strike. Once per battle, after you play a card, you may immediately play another card with the same name. So this might definitely help us be able to take out multiple things. And then Billy's is, once per battle, a ranger of your choice may draw 1 card, then place 1 card from their hand back on top of their deck. So that could definitely help out too, because especially working with Trini where she wants 2 of the same cards. She could draw a card and then get that. It also works nice for defense cards. So, like, if we looked at Zack's cards here, if you take damage, you have to discard versus how much damage you take from the enemy. And then how many shields you are is how many you block. So these block 2, that one blocks 1. So there's some that have 3 as well. So with Billy being a defense character, the Blue Ranger, that's really helpful to maybe put a high shield card back on your deck, but it could be used for another reason. Alright, so we are going to first draw our card. We're going to start with 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 for Trini. What does Trini have here? Where is my camera again? We have the Twin Fang Teamwork. Reaction. Play this card after another ranger resolves an attack. Deal 1 hit to target of that attack. So now this could be a great way. If Billy attacks, she could do a free extra point of damage, which might be enough to defeat them. She has Sabertooth Strike. 1 costs 2 dice. If this attack defeats your target, it may immediately perform a second attack with 2 dice. So basically I get to do that attack a second time. Which could be very good. And we have Power Daggers. This is every character has a power weapon, which always costs 3. So this lets me roll 4 dice. After you resolve the attack, a ranger of your choice may immediately play 1 card. So basically I get to play a free card. We have another Twin Fang Teamwork, and we have Tenacity. Gain 1 energy, choose 2 cards from your discard pile, return them to the top of your deck in any order. So this lets her get those cards back out she might need. Alright, so we're just going to kind of splay her cards out so we can see what we need. We're going to draw Billy's cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, next battles or later battles, I might not want to draw back up to 5. I might want to keep less if I need more cards in my deck to stay alive. So he has Tactical Strike, 0 cost, 2 dice. After you play this card, place it on top of your deck instead of discarding it. His Power Lance, 4 dice. After you play this card, place it on top of your deck instead of discarding it, so he gets these defense abilities. He does have these special cards, so here he has Counter Jab. It says roll 1 dice, and does 1 free hit. And then it says, if for defense, if you reveal this card, deal 1 hit to an enemy of your choice. So if you can put this card back on your deck, you get a free hit. He's got 2 of those, and he's got another Tactical Strike. So he looks like he's more for defense, but we'll see what we have. So we want to put 2 more shared energy back into the basic power. So now where Zack was by himself, I was free to use both of them energy because they're going to resolve. Now I could use them for each and play a power weapon, but that means the other player doesn't have access to it. So it's kind of got to watch what we do there. Alright, so we're going to go back over to this board. We have 3 Putty Patrollers. So our first Putty card is Flanking. As well as cards in play, each time another enemy card is deal damage, increase that damage by 1. So that's just a passive. So that's not too bad. We can take it out right away. We got a second Flanking. Although that means if the third card does damage, everyone's going to take 2 extra damage. Oh yeah, look at that. And we have Cannon Fodder for 3, which has Guard. So it deals 2 damage. So what this means is, as of right now, after that third card activates, after Cannon Fodder activates, if I haven't defeated the 2 flanking cards, that card's going to do 4 damage instead of 2. Which is a lot of damage. Not a ton of damage, but I mean, I don't really want to take that right away. Now, Cannon Fodder also has Guard, which means I cannot attack this flanking until I take care of that. So I can take out this one right away, if I want, just so it doesn't do anything. And then I can work on that. But I may as well work on Cannon Fodder first, because if I defeat Cannon Fodder, the other 2 won't do any harm to me. So I may as well work on taking that one out first. So we want to try and take out 3 health. What is the best way we do this? So, one thing I can do here is once per, with Billy's ability, it says once per turn. I kind of see if I can. I'm not going to be able to get far enough out to get both of their decks because I have them separate. But if we look at Billy's ability, it says once per battle, a ranger of your choice may draw 1 card, then place 1 from their hand on top of their deck. Now, Trini's ability really works for having 2 cards of the same thing. So, since she has... since I don't have any cards in my discard pile, what I'm going to do is use Billy's ability to draw 1 card. Alright, so I drew a Precise Strike, which just does straight up does 2 damage. So after you play this card, you may spend 1 energy to shuffle it back in your deck instead of discarding it. I'm going to put Tenacity back on top of my deck. Because that only worked if I had cards in my discard pile. What I was hoping to get was to use her ability. It says once per battle, you may immediately play a card with the same name. Now, I could do this Twin Fang Teamwork, because I do have both copies of this, which will say, play this card after another ranger resolves an attack, deal 1 hit to the target of that attack. I only need to do 3 damage. So the only problem with doing that is if I hit that guy if I take him out, then that card doesn't do anything, which I don't have to play it if I take it out. Because it's after the resolving attack. But it wouldn't make sense to play multiple of them, because I'm never going to need to do that much more damage. So I just might not use her ability this turn. I don't think Alpha had anything that really helped me. Okay, so now I have this option. I get to go first. If I play any card, then they get to go. So I basically got 3 turns to try and take out all that. I have to do a total of 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7 damage. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to start with Billy. Alright, we're going to start with Billy and we're going to do the counter jab. So I gotta roll 1 die and I get 1 free hit no matter what. Alright, so that's going to go to his discard pile. And we have to choose who we're attacking before we roll the dice. So we're going to try and take out Cannon Fodder over there. We're going to try and take out that Cannon Fodder, which has 3 health. So we're going to roll a die and see if we can get... If I can get a 2, I can take him out. If I get a 1, I won't. So I got a 1. So he's going to get 1 damage from my hit, plus 1 from counter jab, which is an automatic hit. But now I can immediately play the reaction card for free Play this card after another ranger resolves an attack to deal 1 damage to the target of that attack. So I'll go to her discard pile, but I immediately get to a free point of damage. So that does 3 damage. So now what this does is it flips over. So now I don't have to worry about that. Now again, her ability that might have been better to use double strike and team up and do that for a bigger boss, or wait, but who knows what I have coming up next. I'd rather just take these guys out when I can. Alright, so then the bad guys get to activate. So this turns sideways to activate. Nothing happens because it doesn't do any damage. Let me get back up to that. So I flipped this one over because I did 3 damage to it. Now it's still in play. I haven't turned it sideways because it's still there, but I have to get this activated. Doesn't do anything because it's a passive. I don't have to worry about taking any damage this turn, so now I just have to try and take them guys out to clear them off the board. So now it's my turn again. I can decide if I have another attack to do, or if I have something else. So what I'm going to do here is we're just going to do Precise Strike, which costs 0, does 2 damage. So after I play this card, I may spend 1 energy to shuffle it back into my deck instead of discarding it. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 from my shared pool, shuffle this back into my deck, so that I have it for a later turn. Plus it gives me more health. And we're going to do 2 damage to this guy. May as well, right? And technically, again, I should have said that before I actually sucked the damage. Alright, so now it's the enemy's turn again. Now this card is going to turn sideways to show that it's been activated. But again, nothing's going to happen because it's been defeated. So now I have 1 more turn to try and beat them. Because I go and then they get their last turn. So, we need to do 2 damage to take out that last one. Now, I don't have anything that's guaranteed 2 damage. I could play one of my tactical strikes, which let me roll 2 dice. And then even if I don't beat him, I guess I get to put it back on top. And it just gives him an extra point of health. So it's not a bad idea. Worst cases, I have my Twin Fang teamwork, which you can always play to put that 1 extra damage back on there if I have to. Alternatively, what I could have done last turn is I could have done Sabertooth Strike, rolled 2 die. If I would have beat him, I could have then rolled 2 dice and attacked the second guy and maybe taken out both with 1 card. But then that might have been a risk that might not have happened. Alright, we're going to play our Tactical Strike. So we're going to discard that. We're going to roll 2 die. We're hoping for 2 hits. We got 1. Alright, so that's going to put 1 hit on that. Now, I have the option of playing my Twin Fang teamwork, taking him out, or I could just let this resolve, and that leaves 1 Putty out there to have to deal with later. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it, and we're going to go ahead and deal 1 extra damage, and just take this guy out. And then my Tactical Strike actually goes back on top of my deck. And then now this guy's going to resolve. Nothing will happen because he's been defeated. I have defeated all 3 Putties. So we'll shovel their cards over there. Then what we can do is we'll zoom back out here. Alright, and then we put all 3 Putties over here. So look at that. Round 1, we're almost over halfway to getting our first Zord. Alright, so we have a couple different options right now. So I have the Pink Ranger and the Red Ranger ready to attack 2 Super Putties. Black Ranger's used both of his abilities to move and attack. Yellow Ranger's used both of her abilities to move and attack. The Blue Ranger still has 1 more action. So I could use this action to either recover, shuffle some of my cards back into my deck, but I only got 1 card in my discard, so that doesn't really help me that much. I could use it to move to the command center and just shuffle all my cards back in. But again, that doesn't help me. My best option to do for him is move him to a different location. So I have 2 different thoughts here. is either one, I could move him to the Industrial District, then he's already ready to fight their next turn, or I could move him over to Angel Grove Park where he could support the Pink and Red Ranger just in case they need the extra card or they need the extra attack or whatever. So there's that. There's those two options. I think, though, those two can probably handle that because they have two actions, so at worst they can always take two combats. So I'm going to spend the Blue Ranger's other move action. I'm going to move him to the Industrial Park. Now, he doesn't have any more points, so he can't initiate another combat. But now, next round, he'll already be sitting there with 2 action points ready to go, so he can initiate combat twice for somebody else that's moved into that area. Alright, so now the Pink Ranger and Red Ranger are going to go. I'm going to make the Red Ranger my Lead Ranger, give him the big Lead Ranger token, just in case something comes up. We'll flip his action. Sorry if my face is getting in the camera. Alright, so then we have 2 Super Putties. Alright, let's zip over to my board here. And let's see what our 2 Super... Well, let's draw our hand first. Let's draw some hands. Let's turn these guys sideways so I know that these are my hands and not my discard piles. Alright, Kimberly's hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll start with that 5. We don't have to. But we have Take Aim. So she has, if this will focus at all. Too much stuff there. Gain 1 energy, you may immediately play another card. If this is an attack, you may reroll any number of dice during this attack. So that's super helpful. She got Flying Kick. Just lets her spend 2 and gain some energy. So she can be able to help play some big abilities. Acrobatics, Reaction. Play this card after you reveal a card for defense to add the revealed number to your hand instead of discarding it. Or place it on the bottom of your deck. Basically, get your card in your hand. Arrow Shot costs 1, but it rolls 3. I can ignore the guard when choosing a target, so that could be definitely helpful. And then she gets the Blade Blast, which is a shared card that every Mighty Morphin Ranger has. Which is special. This attack deals an amount of damage equal to the amount of energy spent to play this card. You can buy this amongst any number of targets. So that can be great if I need to just like wail like a bunch of guys at once. Even both of these guys, because I could spend 3 energy and do 3 damage. I haven't had to use Alpha yet, which I don't plan to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless I really need to. I might need them later in the game. Alright, Red Ranger is going to have Triangle Slash. 1 cost does 3. You may reroll any number of dice this turn. Lead the charge. Next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 1 dice to that attack. And I got 2 of those. I got Team Tactics. Gain 1 energy. Another ranger of choice may immediately play 1 card. And we have Power Sword, his epic weapon. Does 5 dice. Next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 2 dice to that attack. So this is a good one to start with, because then I get the extra bonus. Each character also has their special abilities. So Pink Rangers is, at the start of each battle, you may deal 1 damage to each, or 1 damage to an enemy card of your choice. So you can deal 3 points of damage. And Red Rangers is Leadership. Once per battle, a ranger of your choice may reroll any number of dice during this attack. That's why I put these 2 up against the stronger one, because they can do some extra damage. Alright, our first putty. Oh no, it's the Fast Guard Engulf, which drains 1 energy. Alright, that kind of sucks. Our second one is going to be another Engulf. So we got another Engulf. So they're both fast, so that doesn't matter for that purpose. They're just going to still get to go first once. They're going to have to drain 1 energy. So we put 2 in the shared pile. They get to go first, so that'll tap this. That'll drain that energy. Now it's my turn. I have to try and do 4 damage. Beginning of the battle, I can immediately do 1 point. So I'm going to put 1 point on there. Because if I can take that out before it activates on its next turn, it doesn't do any damage. Now, here might be a thing, might just be worth spending a bunch of energy to try and do this Blade Blaster just to take them out. Um, it's great to have if I can save up a bunch of energy. But, so now since they both have guard, they can't guard each other. So I can attack either one of them. So that's not an issue there. I'm just trying to see. I don't have anything to like do multiple damage or guaranteed damage other than Blade Blaster. But I could do this. Because I need to be able to do at least 3 damage. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do that. So Red Ranger has all this stuff to let me reroll dice, which aren't bad, but I'm trying to figure out how to spread out my damage. So I wonder if I want to do... So I don't know if I want to spend a bunch of cards, or if I just, I could just risk just playing a card and then doing it. So, we need to make sure we take out this card. So, what's my lowest attack? Alright, we'll play Lead the Charge, and we'll attack the second guy. So get 2 dice. The next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 1 die to that attack. Alright, so the Red Ranger is going to try and take out this guy. He only needs to roll 1. Which I rolled a double. So sweet. So we take him out. I mean, I was looking at my combos that I could have played. I could have played, like, Lead the Charge, into Take Aim, into Blade Blast, which should have given me like 2 extra energy. And I could have played 3 energy easily with 1 character between my shared energy and everything. But I'm like, but why am I wasting 4 cards to try and take out this one guy when I just need to roll 1 hit? Which I did, and now he's done. And that cost me no energy. So, alright, so now it's the opponent's turn. This card goes, activates, nothing happens. I don't lose that drain energy. But now I have 1 more attack turn to try and take out that other guy. So I need to do 2 damage. So what we're going to do is we'll do our Flying Kick, which gets me 1 extra energy, which she already has an energy, so it doesn't help me right now, but it lets me roll 2 dice. But because I played Lead the Charge, also says, next time any ranger performs an attack this battle, add 1 die to that attack. So I actually get to roll 3 dice. So hopefully with 3 dice, I can do 2 points of damage. Oh, I did, just barely did 2. That was spinning for a while. So I did my 2 damage to flip this over. So I won that match. Perfect. Alright, so these guys will both go away. These guys will go over here. Now, if we flip back over to our power board, we have the entire thing full. So now we get to clear everyone off. So we'll throw all the enemies back over on the enemy side. This gets moved up to spot 1. We get to draw our first Zord. Our first Zord is the Triceratops. The Zords are really fun because they give you extra abilities. Exhaust this card to allow any ranger to choose up to 2 cards from their discard pile, return them to the top of their deck in any order. Alright, so I'll hang out with Billy over here. We'll just cover up Billy's picture with the Triceratops. Alright. Gaining energy. Okay. So yeah, I can add. I could have added that energy into the shared pool, but again, that doesn't help me. Because I believe at the beginning of every round, you automatically have to add 2 in there. So yeah, take 2 energy from the supplies and I'll have to double check on that. I'm not 100% sure on the shared energy thing, if I can have more. Alright, so that starts the end of this round. Now, Kimberly still has 1 extra action. So what I can do with her is I could move her somewhere else, which might not be a bad idea, or I could do something else. So I'm going to do is just spend her other action. We're going to move her over to the industrial district as well. Then that way, if some more stuff pops into the industrial district, I already got her and Billy ready to fight. If not, then I can always move her somewhere else if I need to, if I think one of them. But I mean, those 2 should be able to handle 2 putties if nothing else. Alright, so now we're going to go to round 2. So I'm going to flip all of my tokens back over to their action sides. Turn my hand sideways. Alright. And that'll bring us back to our deployment phase. Alright, so now round 2, battle round, whatever you want to call it. We're going to reveal 4 things. We have 2 super putties going to Angel Grove Park. You know what? We just cleared you guys out of there. And now you're back already. Look at that. We have Putty Patrollers, and we drew a monster card. So we're going to get our first monster. So, our first monster is going to go to Angel Grove High. This is Pudgy Pig. He's going to join 2 of the Putty Patrollers. So, Angel Grove High with 2 putties. Alright. And now we immediately draw a panic symbol. And that goes on there. So now, we place the panic symbol over here. So that's panicked. It's automatically panicked as soon as there's a boss monster in there, regardless if not. If I take out Pudgy Pig, he'll clear out all the monsters in there. So when it comes to him, I could just focus on taking out him and not worrying about the putties if I don't want to. But the issue there comes if I don't take out the putties and I don't defeat them, then I have to fight more putties. So it's kind of a back and forth. Also, if you beat a monster and it clears all the monsters out, or all the Footsoldiers off the board, you don't get rewards for them. Although if you beat a monster, you get a free level anyhow. So it kind of works out both ways. So your focus is to take out that monster, but if you can't, you might just need to take out the small ones. Alright, so Pudgy Pig's card will go away. So deployment number 3. 3 super putties to the industrial district. So good thing I put 2 rangers there already, because now we're at 5 of 6. And you can see how not clearing these out can make this very hard. And then we're going to have 2 more super putties to Angel Grove High. Oh boy. So Angel Grove High is going to need some help. We now have 5 monsters in there. Total, 4 Footsoldiers, 1 monster. Industrial District has 5. Angel Grove Park has nothing. And Ernest Juice Bar's kind of just hanging out there. So I'm going to want to do is move, definitely move Zack somewhere else, the Black Ranger. I'm probably going to want to just move Jason as well over to the Angel Grove High to help out there. Because we need to take out that Pudgy Pig, and then hope that Billy and Kimberly can take out enough of these other putties by themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes down. Alright, so let's start by moving stuff. We're going to spend 1 action token. We're going to move Zack over to the high school, and we're going to spend 1 to move Jason to the high school as well. Now I'm going to look at Alpha's cards again. Is there anything here that might be beneficial? Drop the 2 cards. Play before a Ranger plays an attack, add a die to that attack. Now, this isn't bad, but I have to do is discard a card from my hand to be able to use it. So I have to be able to something that's not as useful. Or gain 3 energy. Now, that one might be super helpful, but it does cost me a turn to do that. Alright, let's start with the smaller battle. We'll start with the Pink Ranger, Blue Rangers. Now, I have 4 actions. What we're going to do is make sure we put our stored energy back up there. And then we are going to go ahead and fight them. So, we'll have Kimberly initiate this battle. She'll be our lead ranger. So now, I can draw back up to 5 cards if I need to. I already have 4 cards in my hand. I think she's fine. I am going to draw 1 card for Billy, though, which we knew was a tactical strike since we put it on there beforehand. Alright, so now we need to do is deploy our characters. So we have 5 of these. Now I can deploy these in any order I choose. So I could choose to deploy, 2 putties and 2 super putties. But now there's 5 guys, I only have 4 deploy spots. I don't have to deploy 4 of them. So I'm only going to do 2 of each. So we'll just do 1 super, 1, and we'll just go back and forth. So we got our first Putty Patroller card. Ooh, is a guard card. Alright. Cannon Fodder deals 2 damage. So I can't attack whoever's next. Putty Pummel, which will do 3 damage. And then we're going to get another Cannon Fodder, which does 2 damage. So I can't take out this middle card unless they take out the 2 outside cards. And our 4th one is going to be another Putty Pummel. These guys are fairly simple, which is why I chose them for the beginning game. So I can't attack either of the Putty Pummels. I have to take out the 2 Cannon Fodders first. Luckily, nothing has fast, so I get to take my turn first. Kimberly gets a free hit, so we're just going to do a free hit on the first card. So hopefully we can take that one out before it deals too much damage to us. So now what I do have the option of doing is I could sacrifice a turn, take that 2 hits, and try and build up some energy for Blade Blaster. I'm going to flip this down a little bit here. So I could discard a card, play Energize by Alpha, and gain 3 extra energy, which would then give me a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy I could spread amongst everything. So I could place 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then my next turn, I could go ahead and take out the first 2 guys. Or I could skip this guy for now because he's already done damage. I could go ahead and take out that 3, but I wouldn't have enough. Yeah, I could take out both of them. So that's actually, I think I'm going to do. So I have to discard a card to do that. And I'm going to discard my Acrobatics. And we are going to play Energize, which is going to gain me 3 energy. So that's going to go into my shared pile way over here in the power board. This will go back into his deck. So at the beginning of the turn, I'll add another card in there. But now the enemies get to go. So this is going to go ahead and activate. And we're going to take 2 damage. Now I have to pick which ranger takes 2 damage. To take damage, I just reveal a card from the top of my deck. Since Billy has better defense, I'm going to pick him. So we take the top card. And we have 3. Since it has 3, this just go back on the top of my deck. If it was 1, it would have been discarded. It would have been 2, it would have been discarded. 3 saves me. So that's why I picked Billy, so I don't actually take any damage. Because Billy has really good defenses. So I'm also going to do here is we're going to... Well, we have some abilities. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to use some of these abilities. Because I might take some damage from some of these attacks. what I can do here is... because I could play Arrow Shot instead. No, I'm going to do my Blade Blaster. Alright, so we're going to play Blade Blaster, which says, this attack deals X amount of hits equal to the amount of energy spent to play this card. You may divide this energy amongst any number of targets. So we're actually going to go for a big gamble here, and we're going to spend all of our energy. So we're going to spend Kimberly and Billy's 2, plus the 3 we just got, so that's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the 2 that are in the... reserve, so 6, 7. We're going to spend all 7 energy, which means now I can't play any more cards this turn unless I play something else. But I get to place down 7 tokens. So we're going to play 3 on this one, which defeats that. To flip him over. So now I no longer have guard to deal with. Oh, I still can't take out this one because... I have to take out this one first. But what I can do there is put 2 more on there. So that was 3, 4, 5. And what I'm going to do is drop the last 2 over here. So 6, 7. So that'll take out this one as well. So I'm going to take another hit. But I've already weakened the last one up. So I only need to do 1 more damage. And I don't need to worry about that. Plus, since I've defeated this one, I got a free turn to kind of play around or use this as a turn to like energize my characters back up. Alright, so what we got is... so now the opponents are going to go, so the Putty Pummel here is going to activate. It's going to deal 3 damage. Now, we know Billy already has a good card, so we're just going to take that as a hit. It also says... if this card is revealed for defense, gain 1 energy, which we already did, so actually I forgot. We should have gained that 1 energy, which would have given me 1 more energy to spend. So I'm going to go ahead and pretend I did that as well. It's revealed that before, but since it was 3, it would take that card out. That extra energy I would have spent to take out this guy. Which will do that. Technically, what I could have done was I could have actually, because I put 2 here, I put 2 on this, I could have put the 3rd one on there and taking out that and not taking the damage. But we already did it that way. I'm kind of cheating a bit because I'm going back. So we'll just go ahead and suffer the 3 damage. Alright, so now it's my turn. Now I just have to try and take out that last 3 points of damage. So that I can do this. But we also have a couple other options of things we can do because we have some abilities. So one thing I'm going to do is exhaust my Triceratops. It says exhaust this card to allow any ranger to choose the 2 cards in their discard pile, returning them to the top of their deck in any order. So I'm going to take both of Billy's cards. He's going to put them back on. He's going to put his big one back on top. So he's all defensed back up. And he has a full deck ready to go. Then what I'm going to do is says once per battle, a ranger of choice may draw 1 card and place 1 card from their hand back on top of their deck. I'm going to let her draw a card. So she drew a card, so it's acrobatics. So I can put 1 card back on top of their deck. So that doesn't really help me that much, but at least I know I can put that back on there and have 3 defense. Alright, so now we have an action we have to play. So again, I could either play one of mine or I could play one of Alpha's. I don't think Alpha has anything that's super helpful to me right now. For another ranger, plays a dice. Ooh. Add that guy, 1 guy to that attack. Nah, it doesn't really help. Drop the 2 cards and immediately play 1 card. That would maybe be helpful if I was doing Billy and I knew what I wanted, but I don't want to do that. I think what we will do is we will just arrows. Where does actually Billy have? Billy has some good stuff here. I only need to do 3 damage. So I can roll 2 die, put this card back on top of my deck, or I can use hers. So we'll try Billy's. We'll try his Tactical Strike. Roll 2 dice after I play this card, place it back on top of my deck instead of discarding it. So it just gets him more cards. He's going to roll 2 dice. And we're going to hope for 3 hits. We got 3 hits. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome dice rolls. Alright, so I'll take him out. So then now technically I still have 2 more turns. Because now those guys will activate. Nothing happens. Now I could go again. I have, if I wanted to play something else to get me better cards, or do something else, I could do that. I could spend an action on this turn to do some other things. Basically, what I'm going to do is just skip the rest of my turns. There's no point for me to do anything else. Nothing else helps me. But if I had some 0 cards, like maybe it's just like just gain energy. Like that Energize card might be a good time to play now to like reinvigorate myself. But I don't have anything that's going to really help me since I can't do any damage. So we'll just clean these guys up. Alright, so 2 putties, 2 super putties. That's going to take out 4 of them. So we'll put those guys over on our board. That still leaves 1 in the zone. Alright, so now what we have is if we scooch over to our board here, I could now send Billy and Kimberly up to take care of those guys up there. Or I could move both of them in to help fight Pudgy Pig, and that gives me more options. More options, more people that can take damage. I think that's what I'm going to do, is just focus on that. And not worry as much about taking out this 1 extra guy. Actually, I'm going to do it. I'm going to leave Kimberly in here to fight that guy. I think she can take that guy out by herself. And I'm going to move Billy. So I'm going to spend 1 of Billy's tokens to move Billy over here. And then Kimberly can fight this guy by herself and maybe take him out. And then that's 1 less guy I have to deal with there. And then she can always recover if she needs to on the next turn. Of the other 3 Rangers all fighting against Pudgy Pig, and a bunch of other villains. So what we're going to do is I could just do Kimberly's, see if she takes them out, and that'd be fine. But instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everyone else take out Pudgy Pig. And the reason for this is because if they win, I still have the option of moving some of them around to maybe try and take out Angel, 2 putties over in the Angel Grove Park. Maybe having someone jump back over and help Kimberly. It makes more sense to see what they can do first. Trini has 2 actions to use, so she can initiate combat twice or combat once and then move if she has to. But then Zack, Billy, and Jason can all move. So if I start with Trini as the lead person, and they can somehow take this guy out in 1 turn, which would be fantastic, then everyone else could move wherever they need to move, and I can always move someone to Kimberly, and she can still initiate another action. So, alright, let's see what we got on our board over here. So first of all, we'll initiate an action with Trini. She's going to start. We got to decide if we want to draw some more cards. She only has 2 cards in her hand. I think I'm going to draw 2 more cards. So we got another Sabertooth Strike and a Precise Strike with her. Zack already has 4 cards. I think I'll leave him at 4. Billy has 3. Tactical Strike's on the top. So I'm going to draw that because it's a good card to have. And then Jason has 4 cards as well. So I think I'm going to leave everyone with their 4 cards. Alpha gets to draw a new card to replace our Energize we use. We have Recovery Protocol. Play this card when another Ranger plays a card to allow the Ranger to return the card to their hand instead of discarding it. Okay, so that could be helpful, potentially. But we'll leave that there. Alright, let's see what we got. We have 2 putties and 2 supers. So let's start with our super putties first and see what we get there. We'll do a super putty first. So we're going to get another putty pummel, 3 damage. And then we'll do a regular putty. Swarm attack. Okay, these wings kind of suck. Deal 1 damage. Increases damage by 1 for each foot soldier at this location. So that's going to currently do 5 damage. So we definitely want to take that one out as soon as possible. We have a swarm attack from him. So great. Gotta take that one out as well. And this is a 3rd swarm attack. Ugh. So basically I have these guys doing 15, 16, 17, 18 points worth of damage. This is more than enough to kill any of my guys. Now for Pudgy, we draw 4. So to take out a boss, I have to take out 4 of their cards. So if I can take out all 4 this round, he's done. If I can't, then I just have to play him again. But if I take out 2 this round, he's defeated. Alright, I can fight him again. So he has Butter Knife Cutter. Deal 3 damage to 2 different rangers. Luckily, nothing so far has guard. So that's actually kind of another Butter Knife Cutter. I just drew a 3rd one, so I'm going to reshuffle these quick before I draw another one. So maybe I didn't shuffle these before. Shuffled all the other decks. Alright, what do we got? Oh crap, we have I'm Hungry. Alright, so this says... get this to focus for us. Drain 2 damage. Each ranger must discard from their hand a card with the highest energy cost. When this card is defeated, each ranger may return 1 card from the discard pile to their hand. So I definitely want to try and take out that. That's 5 health though. And then we got another Butter Knife Cutter. He has a bunch of these. So, alright. So, 3 damage, 3 damage. That big one's only going to drain 2, but it's going to steal one of my highest cost cards. And the last one does 3. So, nothing has guard, so I don't have to focus on anything there. But I do have to figure out how they're going to go. But it's going to go Putty, 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 and then the bad guy. So I have a couple of turns before it gets to him. Or does the monster attack first? Now I'm questioning myself. Each enemy battle is resolved. Top row from left to right. Okay, so alright. So Pudgy Pig's gonna activate first, so I can focus on him, then focus on the troopers second, or the Putty patrollers if I need to. Alright, we have a ton of different things we can do. Definitely I can use my Triceratops to return something. But I'd like to defeat some things as quickly as possible. So I know that Zack has some good stuff for defeating things. Put his card when it suffers 2 damage. That's defense. It doesn't help me right now, but that'll be nice if I take damage. 4 more cards am I discarding. Okay, so I can add some extra dice to my attack with him. I can defeat a card, lets me perform 2. So my power daggers wouldn't be too bad to use. What does Jason have, though? Alright, let's scooch this back a little bit. And kind of go down and see if we can get this to focus. Maybe you guys might want to look at a focused image instead of blur. Alright, trying to figure out what we can do. So I need to do 4 damage. So I think I'm going to start off with is Team Tactics, which is a maneuver. It says, gain 1 energy, another ranger of your choice may immediately play 1 card. So I'm going to do that. So gaining that extra energy will help me pay for something a little bit more powerful. And I think I'm going to do is use that 1 energy to pay for my Reckless Blow. It gives me 2 dice, but it says before rolling I may discard the top card of my deck, add 2 dice to this attack. So we'll do that. Discard the top card of my deck, which is my Sweeping Strike. So I gain 4 dice. So we are trying to take out that butter knife cutter. We rolled 3. Alright. So what I can do now is I'm going to use Jason's ability to reroll my 1 die. I know it's maybe crazy because I only get to use it once per battle, but if I can take out that butter knife cutter, it helps me prevent a lot of extra hits right off the bat. Sweet, so I got my 4 damage. Alright, so I'll take out him. But now, Zack's ability also says, once per battle after you defeat an enemy card with an attack, you may deal 1 damage to another enemy target adjacent to your target. So I'm going to just immediately do 1 damage to the next butter cutter, because now I only need to do 3 damage to it instead of 4. I could have went down here to the adjacent and done it to the Putty Pummel instead, but I didn't want to do it. Alright, so now it's their turn. They attack, nothing's going to happen. So as long as I can keep up this momentum, although it's like at some point it might be worth just taking a hit, to go ahead and to get rid of that I'm hungry, because that's going to really weaken me down too. So I have Mammoth Slam, which is what I'm looking at doing right now, because I did add an extra die. If there are 4 more cards in my discard pile, I can add 1 die. Which give me 3 dice. I don't have to, again, use Zack right away. What I'm wondering is, do I have anybody else that gives me an ability to play a card right away? Actually, since I only need to do 3, we're going to try this as a risk. So we're going to do Sabertooth Strike. I gotta roll 2 dice. This attack... Actually, no, let's not do that yet. Let's do... Let's do Lead the Charge. Next time any ranger performs an attack during this battle, add 1 die to that attack. So, Jason's going to spend 0 to do that. To roll 2 dice. And he's going to attack that butter knife cutter. So we're hoping to do that 3 damage. Which is possible, but not likely. Whoops. Nope, I only did 1 damage to him. Alright. So unfortunately that's going to happen. But what that's going to do is now he's going to activate. And I have to do 3 damage to 2 different rangers. So, Billy's going to take 1, because he always has the most, so I can take 3 damage. So it's going to go ahead and do that. It's going to give me an extra energy point, so it's not that bad there. I think Trini's going to take the other hit, because she probably has the most cards. Alright, so unfortunately she did 1, so she's going to lose that, and I have to draw a second one. So there's my other 2. So that'll save me, because that'll be my 3 damage. That gets discarded. So she lost 2 cards that turn, so that really weakens her. But now it's my turn again. Now, I really need to do is take out that I'm hungry. Now, I don't need to worry about that butter cutter blast, because it's not going to affect again. But if I don't take out that I'm hungry, I'm going to lose 2 energy. So at this point, I may as well spend 3 energy to try and take that out. Now, I could use Jason's attack. Yeah. So I get add 1 extra die to an attack. I'm just trying to debate what's my best option. If I thought I could take it out, I'd use Saber-Tooth Strike. But I don't think it's gonna happen. So I wonder if this is what I'm thinking. I want to try it. So I have Saber-Tooth Strike. I can roll 2 dice to get 3. I can take out that butter knife cutter. It says it may immediately perform a second attack with 2 dice. So I can attack I'm Hungry with 2 dice. Then I can use Trini's ability. It says after I play a card, I may immediately play another card. So I could play another one and get another 2 dice. So that would give me a total of 4 dice to try and take out I'm Hungry. But I'd also have Butter Cutter defeated too. The only issue is if I don't defeat it, I have nothing else to protect me. So, but 4 dice on there, I can't roll 5 damage. And that's 2 dice and 2 dice. I don't get it. I'm thinking to take out that 5 because I really don't want to deal with that. Because I'm going to play my Power Sword. So we're going to spend 3. So I have 3 shared energy right now. So we're going to spend all 3 of that. We're going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dice, and next time any other ranger performs an attack, they get another dice. So we're going to do this. We're going to roll all 6 dice and try and take out I'm Hungry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, boy. Alright, well. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what it is. Now, if I hadn't used my free die roll before, I would have been able to use it now, but I've already done that, so that kind of sucks. Alright, so I'm Hungry is going to activate, and it says, drain 2 energy. Each ranger must discard from their hand the card with the highest cost. Alright. So it's my Power Dagger. I'm going to discard Smooth Moves. This is going to be my Power Lance. For Billy. And that's Jason's last card. So now Jason has no more. Red Ranger has no more cards, so he can't do anything else with this combat. Unfortunately. Now, what comes is I have to worry about another 3 damage. From 2 different sources. And my guys are starting to run stuff. So now I can either take out I'm Hungry, or try and take out Knife Butter Cutter with something, or I can try and take out some of them other cards. So I think I'm going to do is we're going to spend... Oh, I have to lose 2 energy though too, right? Alright, so Zack and Jason are each going to lose an energy since neither of them have enough to do anything with it anyhow. I'm going to spend my 1 energy on Trini to play Saber-Tooth Strike. Roll 2 die, but I get a 3rd die because of Jason's ability. And we're going to attack I'm Hungry. So I only need to do 1 damage to it. Which I got 3. Alright, so that's enough to take that one out. Now I get to immediately make another attack with 2 dice. So I'm going to attack that butter knife cutter over there. The farthest one. I got 2 misses. That does not help me. But now I'm going to use Double Strike to play. I'm going to end up using Billy's energy. He's going to share his energy with me to play at Saber-Tooth Strike. So still got to pay for its cost. But I'm going to attack the other butter knife cutter. The first one. I did 1 damage. Crap. I was hoping to do 2 and take it out. And be able to attack a 3rd time. Alright, so I'm going to have to take some hits here. Now, before I take any hits, I got 2 things I can do. 1, because I defeated I'm Hungry, it says each ranger may return 1 card from the discard pile to their hand. So, I get to pick 1 card I want to put back in my hand. So who has... since I have no energy... We're going to take a team thing work. We draw another smooth moves here. Alright, I think we got this. Put a Mighty Maces back in our hand, and Jason is going to get a 0-cost card. Do I want the extra guy with damage, or do I want the extra energy? No one really has any energy abilities except for Billy, so we'll do the extra damage so he can actually do an attack. Alright, now before I do anything else, Billy has, I can, once per turn, I can have a Ranger draw a card, put one back on top of their deck. So I'm going to actually have... I'm going to have him draw a card. He's got counter jab. And I'm going to put that back on top of my deck. So it says if revealed for defense, I get to deal 1 damage to an enemy of my choice. So he's going to put that one back down. And I can exhaust my Triceratops to allow any ranger to choose 2 cards from their discard pile to return them to the top in any order. So who has the fewest cards? Trini, so I'm going to let her put 2 cards back in there. So she's going to put that one, and let's set up for another turn. We'll put a Blade Blaster back on there. Perfect. Alright, we need to take out Pudgy this turn. Alright. Now his Butter Knife is going to activate. It's going to hit 2 of my guys. So first thing we're going to do, Billy's going to take a hit. So he's going to go ahead and take one. It says if revealed for defense, deal 1 hit to an enemy card of my choice. I'm going to deal 1 to this one, take this one out, just so I don't have to spend an extra attack on it. And then we're going to actually play a reaction with Zack here. Smooth moves, reaction. Play this card when any ranger suffers damage to reduce that damage by 2 and gain 1 energy. So we're going to do that so that Billy doesn't have to sacrifice another card to take his 3 damage. And we're going to gain an energy point to use. So now another player has to play one. I don't know who else has a good card. Jason has a lot of cards left in his deck. So we'll have him reveal. So he's got a 3. So I'm just going to lose my block. Which is fine. Now, what I can also do though is play another smooth moves. I have a second one. So we can do that to gain extra energy. But the thing is, the only person that has an energy card right now is Billy. And I only have 1 energy available. So it doesn't make sense to do that. Unless I wanted to keep that block on top of his deck. That would be the only reason. Because it reduced it by 2. But I'm not going to worry about it for that reason. Alright. Now it's my turn. Now I have to worry about this Putty attacking me for 3 damage. Now I could just focus on taking out some of these swarm attacks and not worry about Pudgy Pig. Or I could try and take some of these. But the thing is, them swarm attacks do 5 damage. So I really need to just focus on them and then come back and try and defeat Pudgy Pig if possible. If not, I might just have to fight him a second time and suffer through 4 more attacks. But now I only need to defeat 1 card. Alright, so let's see what we have. We need to be able to do the most damage possible to what we can. So I think what we'll have to suffer that 3 damage from Putty Pummel, which is fine. But we're going to attack the first swarm attack, this one here, for 3. So Jason's going to go ahead and go. He got 2 dice. Let someone else roll a dice so then maybe they can do something next turn. 3 damage. Come on, 3 damage. I'm going to re-roll that one since it hit the corner. Okay, it's a miss. Alright, double miss. It was probably a hit, but, you know, I picked my battles. Alright, well that sucks. So that's going to definitely not go well for me, so I'm going to take 3 damage. Billy's going to take it. He's going to hit 2. And then he'll hit this one, which will save him. Alright. who is up next? Alright. Let's see who can do the most damage. So we need to take out one of these cards. Alright, so I think we're going to start with Billy and use his Mighty Maces. We're going to spend 1. He's going to get 3 die. Now hopefully we can take out that swarm attack. Okay, I did 2. It's not enough to take him out, but we have Twin Fang teamwork. Put this card after another ranger resolves an attack to deal 1 damage to the target of that attack. So we're going to do that. Because if I take out this guy here, then it's I get a free extra turn. So now it's going to activate. I'm not going to take that damage. So now I have to try and take out another one before I have to keep trying to take out one of these at a time. But at some point I might just want to take that 5 damage to try and take out Pudgy Pig. Alright, so we'll do Mammoth Slam. We're going to actually try and take out Pudgy Pig up there for 4. Because I'd rather, I guess, have to suffer 5 damage and 5 damage than have to fight Pudgy Pig another full time. So where Zack is going to try it and goes, he has more than 4 cards, so he's going to get 3 dice. So he needs 4. He's got 3. Alright, that's better than nothing, right? Now, I don't think I have anything that can help boost that or come in. Nope, 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 nope. Alright, so then Swarm Attack is going to hit. Deal 1 damage, increase the damage by 1 for each foot soldier, and there are 4 foot soldiers, so it's going to be 5 damage. Again, I think, well, we'll have Jason go first since he has a lot of cards. So he's going to take 1, right there. We're going to actually play Smooth Moves right away, and that'll reduce it by 2. So now he's taking 3 of the 5, so if this is a high card, there's 4, and they'll block it. Alright. Okay, so we survived that, so now I have to do 1 hit to that Pudgy Pig to take him out, or I could try and take out this other Swarm Attack. And I still have 1 attack. So I do have Precision Attack, so I can automatically do 2 damage. So I attack, they go, it's done. So I'm just going to go ahead and do Precise Strike, do 2 damage to the Pudgy Pig up there, which is going to take that out. I'm going to spend that 1 shared energy I still have to put this back on top of my deck. It's going to take out Pudgy Pig. Swarm Attack is going to hit. I'm going to have to take 5 damage. So Billy's going to take this for us. So he's got 2... 3, and that'll block it. Alright. Okay, so in the end, I took out Pudgy Pig. Boom. So he's going to go, I'm going to gain a full level. I also took out 1 of the Putty Patrollers. So I do get 1 on the board. The other 3 I'll get cleared off, though, because I defeated a monster. So I get another... and my panic token goes away. Alright. So I do get a Mastodon. Awesome. So Mastodon says... exhaust this card to immediately remove 1 foot soldier from the location and place it on the experience track. It's a free defeat. Alright, so that's going to get rid of all of these guys. So... Pudgy Pig is defeated. I don't have to worry about him, but I have to worry about Bones coming up, which should come up in like 2 cards, could come up in 5 cards. Alright, so before we end this video, let's just look at the stake of our game. Where we have is Pink Ranger is fighting 1 thing. Angel Grove Park has 2 monsters, 2 super putties. Everyone else is fine, except Trini has no cards in her hand. Zack has no cards in his hand. Jason has no cards in his hand. Billy is actually not doing too bad, but he only has 1 life left. Jason has 2. Zack has 3. Trini's not doing too bad. So I'm probably going to have to do with my move action, just move a bunch of these guys. I could spend 1 action to leave them where they are, and then I can shuffle up to 6 shields worth of cards back into my deck, which isn't bad. Or I could just use the action to just move them to the command center. The reason why leaving them would be helpful is if like I still had to fight Pudgy Pig again, I could have then used their actions, like use each character's action to like go ahead and basically rebolster their deck so I can draw more cards before they lose. But instead, I'm going to do is just move a bunch of guys into the thing. So Billy, Jason, and Zack. All 3 of those guys are going to move into the command center to power up. Which power up lets me do is lets me reshuffle all of my cards back into my decks. And then I can start basically with a fresh hand in life. Now, alternatively, I have 3 lives. I could just let some guys die if I need to, because then they go back and power up anyhow. But if I don't have to do that right away, I'm not going to. Now, since Trini still has 5 cards in her thing, I'm going to spend her action point and move her down here to help Kimberly out. And then Kimberly's going to activate her action on the next video to attack that Putty. But at least she'll have Trini to help. We have Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, and Trini, the Yellow Ranger, about to fight off against 1 Super Putty. They shouldn't have any problem taking out one of them. But then Trini will probably have to spend a turn recovering, because she doesn't have a lot of cards left. But before we do any of that, our Mastodon, because we just got it, we haven't used it. And these exhaust, but they refresh during the overall step, like when we do the deployment phase and stuff. So we haven't used it, even though we got it. So the exhaust is to immediately remove 1 foot soldier from any location and place it on the experience track. Now I could just remove this guy here and not even have to worry about combat this turn. And these guys could just kind of relax. Instead, I'm going to get rid of one of these dudes. But now that also puts our board over here at 6. So we are full back up. So we're up to level 3. So all of these guys are going to go back over there. We're going to get another Zord, because if we get the pink or yellow one, that's definitely going to help us. Oh, sweet. We got the Pterodactyl Zord. Exhaust us to gain 2 energy. During battle to gain 2 energy. So now we can use this, because it's really great because neither of these Rangers have energy. So I can exhaust that right away to gain 2 extra energy so we can use some attacks. Alright, preparation phase. Flip this over. She's going to attack. She becomes the lead Ranger. Trini has 5 cards in her deck. I'm going to let her draw 3 of them. And we're going to hope that that's enough to do some stuff. Kimberly is going to, she has 2, she's going to draw 2. Gives her up to 4. We're going to exhaust that Zord right away to gain 2 extra energy, because we may as well, because we already have our 2 shared energy. Now, what I can do with that shared energy at the end of the battle is I can give it to my players if I have them. So instead of spending 4 energy, I could give 1 to Trini and 1 to Kimberly so they have them for the next combat. Otherwise, the only other way to get it is to go back to the command center and power up. Alright, so we have a Super Putty. Let's see what the Super Putty has for us. He has a Swarm Attack, which is going to do 1 damage. So that's not too bad. So we just have to do 3 damage to him. Kimberly does her Quick Shot, so she immediately gets to hit him for 1. So I just gotta do 2 damage to this guy. So basically, I don't want to waste a ton of cards. Luckily, look at this. We have Precision Strike. Precise Strike does 2 damage. I can spend 1 energy that we just got from our Pterodactyl Zord to put this back on top of my deck. Oh yeah, shuffle it back into my deck. Does 2 damage. Takes him out. Boom. He's defeated. Easy as pie. He goes on our board. We're going to give 1 energy to Trini. 1 energy to Kimberly. And the shared energy goes away. That is the end of that round. So that's how quick that round went. Alright, so now we're back to our deployment phase. Let's flip all our action tokens back over and see what we got. Now, you might be thinking, hey, this video is taking forever. So, partly because I'm trying to explain stuff, versus just playing the game. Secondly, because I'm playing as 5 characters versus each player doing it, so I'm trying to mix and match. I have to try to remember what's in every hand. Where if you're only focusing on one character, it's a little bit easier. Thirdly, they recommend what you can do is in some of these matches, if you have your team split apart, you could play people independently of each other. Now, there's one reason why I wouldn't have wanted to, so if you watched the last video, I had you all with the Pink Ranger in one battle, and they defeated Pudgy Pig, which is awesome. And I was able to move the Yellow Ranger over, which is basically what secured my for sure victory on that guy versus a possible die roll and maybe not beating him. So that was great. But if I would have played the Pink Ranger first, I wouldn't have had that option. I wouldn't have had Pterodactyl. Or if I would have done them at the same time, again, Pink Ranger would have been by herself. Alright, so let's deploy some cards. We got... Ooh, these guys get shuffled. Go back to the bottom of the deck. It's just kind of out if you get down to the boss, so still sit there and keep going. Alright, we have 2 Super Putties to Angel Grove High. Number 2. 2 more Super Putties to Ernie's Juice Bar. Alright. Oh, come on. Alright. 2 regular putties to the Industrial District. We got 2 guys waiting there to fight, so that's not bad. And, oh crap, we have a monster. I was hoping we wouldn't get that. Oh, and with 3 super putties. Oh boy. So we have Bones coming out, going to Ernie's Juice Bar with 3 super putties. Oh boy. Oh, this match is gonna suck. Alright. So it's definitely going to panic that because we have 5 plus Bones is in there. Bones is a pain in the A. So now I could do is move all of my Rangers over there and just make sure I can take everybody out. And just leave these minor guys around. Because I'm not going to run into Rita on my next turn, who's the boss. That might not be a bad idea to do. So if I spend 1 action per every player... Alright, we're going to move everybody. All 5 Rangers are going to jump in here. And then we're going to hope that we can just play cleanup next turn. Alright. Then we need to do is... Someone has to take him out first. We need to draw cards. Alright, so Trini... only has 3 cards, so she's only going to draw 1 more. Zack is going to draw... I'm going to have everyone else draw their 5 cards. Actually, since I have so many people... Yeah, we'll draw 5. I want to draw 4 and leave more defense. No, we'll draw 5. We'll be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh no, Billy already has some cards out. Because I didn't shuffle them into his deck. So we have 3 Zords to play. So that's helpful. Although, well, we have 1 Zord that's helpful. Not helpful, really. So I have the Mastodon Zord. It says I can immediately remove 1 foot soldier to remove 1 and place on experience track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since it's not going to get me enough cards to, or enough experience to level up, it's not really worth it. There's 5, I can only have 4 super putties deployed at a time. So I'm not going to have so taking 1 out here is not going to affect how many cards I have to play. So I may as well wait and use it after combat, because if I take out like 2 of them, you know, if I end up getting that point, I take out 2, I can always remove 1, then it's 1 less to do. if I take out Bones, they're all removed anyhow. And instead I could take out one of these other guys and just it's one less guy I have to deal with there. Alright, so let's draw some bad guy cards. We need to reshuffle up our super putties. We're going to play these two. Oh no, that's not good. Deploy 2 more super putties to this area. So if they activate, I'll have more super putties. So basically my upside is that doesn't do anything to me. So that gives me 2 free things. So basically I just have to focus on Bones this turn. This round and just take out him and I don't have to deal with those. Otherwise you're just going to keep adding more. Actually, since there's a limit of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one of these guys moves to a different location. So actually this guy goes here. So I could have removed 1. Sorry, once it gets over 5, then they once it hits that pinnacle or that number, then they move to the next area. So I could have actually gotten rid of one of them and drawn 1 less card, but it's not that big of a deal. Alright, then we have Bones' cards. Bones is a pain. He's going to have fast, so they're going to get to attack first. Now, if any of the bad guys have fast, they always attack first. Skeleton Sword, 3 health, deal 4 damage to the lead ranger. So whoever my lead ranger is, who initiated this combat, who I haven't decided, I'll just say it was Jason. Because he's usually the guy I would start with anyhow, he's the leader. So he's going to take that damage right away. Then we have another Skeleton Sword. So since they have guard, they won't protect each other, but they do protect the cards below them. You know, I'm going to leave 1 there, and I just realized I didn't shuffle his deck. Same as I did with Pudgy Pig. So I was about to draw the 3rd Skeletal Sword in a row, which would be kind of fine, because I just ended up killing 1 character, but not very anticlimactic. Alright, now we shuffled this up a bit. Instead we have Regeneration. Oh, this card sucks. Put all defeated Bones cards in this battle face up. They're no longer defeated. So, at least the upside is that's the 2nd card. Another Skeletal Sword. So, the thing is, this Skeletal Sword, here's the problem, is that moves to the front. And then we, oh yeah, so this is where this becomes a problem. So then we also drew Gravedigger Slash. Drain 1, each ranger must discard the bottom card of their deck. So the new fast card always goes to the front. Now, here's where we have the issue with Bones, is because his, oh, let's see if I can zoom, I can't really see that, but his middle 2 cards both have guard. So they can't protect each other, but they protect the outside 2 cards. So I have to take out both of those Skeletal Swords before I can take out the other 2. Then I have to take out Regeneration. Otherwise, them other cards are just going to come back and I have to refight them all over again. So I'm probably just going to have to take that. I'm going to have to take that first damage no matter what because it's fast. But I do need to take out these Skeletal Swords and that Regeneration as quickly as possible. Alright. So, first thing we want to do is Kimberly's ability to do 1 damage. We're going to put 1 damage on that guy. Then, we're going to take a hit from this. Drain 1 energy, each ranger discards the bottom card of their deck. Alright, well that sucks, because if I would have known that, I wouldn't have drawn 5 cards for everybody, right? Oh no. Alright, bottom card, and that puts Trini down to 1 card, so Trini's probably gonna die. She has to take a hit. But, alright, so now I have to start dealing some damage to these, or I'm gonna take damage. The upside is that Skeletal Sword is only gonna do damage to Jason, so both of them are gonna hit him, so I have 2 attacks to try and get in. I do have 2 smooth moves, so I can protect 2 of that damage. So I'm not that worried about it. I just need to take them out. What I am wondering here is... do I have? Okay, I'm not worried about dying here, so we're going to do this. We're going to attack that first skeletal sword with lead the charge. Does 2 dice. Next time any ranger, add 1 die to that battle. So that's Jason's card, so I'm going to roll 2 dice. Zoom back out a little bit and see me roll some miserable dice. So I need to hit 2 hits off of this. 2 hits, perfect. Alright, so that'll defeat that, which then it will activate, nothing will happen. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is take a risk here. So we have... first of all, we have Take Aim. Gain 1 energy, you may immediately play another card. If it's an attack, you may reroll any number of dice during that turn. So we're going to gain 1 energy, so we have our 2 that we got from there, plus we got another one. And then we're going to spend 1 of those energies to play Arrow Shot, which lets me roll 3 dice, plus 1 for Jason's previous card. Ignore the guard keyword when choosing a target for this attack. So we're going to spend 1 to roll 4 dice with Kimberly. We're going to try and take out Regeneration. I don't know if we will. But we're going to see what we can do. Okay, so I got 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, do I want to risk re-rolling a 1 to try and do that? No, I don't think I do. So I'm going to do is put 5 damage on him, because I only need to do 2 more damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What I can do, though, however, is do Twin Fang Teamwork, which says, after another resolves an attack, deal 1 damage to the target of that attack. So we're going to put 6 on there. So I only need to deal 1 more point of damage to that to take it out. The thing is, that other thing still has guard, so I need to do it in a turn. Oh, sweet, I didn't do that. That's alright. So I should have done with Zack's ability here. It says, once per battle after defeating an enemy attack, may deal 1 damage to an adjacent card. So I'm going to retcon that, go back, and deal 1 damage to that. Alright, so now, their turn, that's going to activate, deal 4 damage to the lead ranger. First what I'm going to do is to play block for free. Any ranger suffers damage, reduce that damage by 3. Then I am going to play Smooth Moves. Reduce that damage by 2 and gain 1 energy. So I don't take any, but I gain an extra energy. Alright, so now I have to take out the Skeletal Sword and that regeneration. Otherwise, I won't. Otherwise, all them other cards will come back, and this is kind of for naught. The other option would have been was to not touch any of Bones' cards, let regeneration go, and then try and do it during the Putty's turn. But I'd rather take them out if possible. So, I am going to play Blade Blaster, the Trini. So I can deal X number of damage to the amount of damage spent. Before I do that, do I have... Jason has that as well. I was just seeing if I had anyone that had something. Sometimes they're like, hey, if you play this card, you can play an extra card for free. I'm going to use Billy's ability, Exhaust. Once per battle, I can draw a card, and I can place 1 card back on top of their hand. Okay, it's just that. I was hoping maybe I might draw that Blade Blaster. So instead, I'm going to put a different card back on there. I'm going to exhaust my pterodactyl to gain 2 more energy. And... Alright. I think Trini is going to play Blade Blaster. I know Jason could as well, but I'm going to have Trini do it just because she has less stuff. Alright, she's going to play Blade Blaster, so she can spend X energy. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In our pool, we're going to spend 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to spend all our energy. We're hitting it with everything. We got 10 points here. So we're going to spend 10 points. We're going to do 1 point here. Now, since this attack doesn't directly target a card, I can hit anybody. But even still, I can do 2 damage here. So that's 10, 9, 8, 7. And I can do 5 here, which leaves me with 2 more damage. I can spend 2 damage to take out one of these regrowths. So I take out a regrowth. So that's 2. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. I took out bones. That's that. That's still active. Alright, so now it's the opponent's turn. Bones is going to activate. Nothing. So now I have an extra free turn here. This is only going to deploy 1 more guy, but they're all going to get removed anyhow. So it doesn't really make a difference. I just kind of need to focus on the other 2 swarms. Especially as swarm attack. Because it has 5 damage on it. Alright, so what do we have to do a bunch of damage? Trini has one that just does straight up 2 damage. I can put it back in there. Zack has... I can have 1, 2... I'm just trying to see. I haven't played almost anything with Billy. He's just been my defender. Oh, he has a Blade Blaster as well. Any energy left. Alright. Trying to see who has the best things. Jason can't do anything that have any energy. So what we'll do is we'll do Kimberly. She has take aim, gain 1 energy, immediately play another attack. If there's an attack, you may reroll any number of dice. We're going to gain 1 energy to use. Followed up by flying kick, which lets us roll 2 dice, which I can reroll, and I gain an extra energy. Now still after Kimberly's attack, or cards, but at least I get to gain 2 energy out of it. So we're attacking, I don't know, that Putty pummel is what we were looking for. Or the swarm attacks. We did 1 damage to it. I'm going to reroll this one. Does 2. Alright, not enough to take it out, but enough to at least weaken it up. Now this one's going to activate. Alright, what do we got? I only got 2 energy. I have anything else that gets me energy. So that I have another Blade Blaster. I have 2 of them. So I could always use 1 to deal 1 damage to that, but I only have 2 energy, so that's not super helpful. Alright, we're going to spend 1 energy to do Reckless Blow. Which says, before rolling, you may discard a top card of your deck that 2 dice to this attack. 2, we're going to attack that Putty pummel. So we're going to get 4 dice. And we're going to try and take 3 damage off of that. Sweet, does 5. Alright, so you're done. And there goes a die. All the way across the table. Alright. So what's going to happen is, and this is going to activate, deploy 1 Super Putty. It's going to go here. It's going to do that. I'm going to use my Mastodon's power just to remove that right away. And we're going to put him over there just so that doesn't get too crazy. We have another turn before their card activates. We just need to try and do 3 damage. I don't have any way of spreading damage out, though. But since we do have a free attack, we're going to spend Precise Strike, do 2 damage, spend our energy to put that... No, I'm not even going to spend that energy. We're just going to let it go, because Trini's going to have to go heal anyhow, so she'll get that card back. But that'll do 2 damage to this, to take out that. This will activate, and now we just got to do 1 damage to Swarm Attack. Who needs to go heal? Jason's fine, he can't attack anyhow. You're fine. Let's use one of Billy's. Alright, so we'll use Tactical Strike, roll 2 dice. I can put this back on top of my deck. So hopefully his 2 dice will let me get 1 hit. 1 hit. Boom. Otherwise, I always still had Jason's ability I hadn't used yet. Alright, so I'll take out that, and it would activate. Nothing would happen. Perfect. So that means Bones gets defeated. We defeated all 4 of these guys, so they're all going to our board. Because even though I defeated Bones, I defeated these guys as well. But that will end up taking out all of these guys off of our board, and we get another Zord. We're up to level 4. So we got the Saber-Tooth Tiger. Exhaust this card during a battle to allow each participating ranger to draw up to 2 cards. Alright, so that's not terrible. It lets me, like, draw less cards to begin with, and then go back through and do that. Alright, so now, before we do the next deployment phase, we have to figure out where we want everybody. So, Trini is going to have to go back to the command center. She's going to spend her action to go here. Because she only has 1 health left. So she's going to go back there, shuffle up her deck, prep up for the next round. Kimberly's probably going to do the same thing because she didn't heal last round. Everybody else could probably start going somewhere. Now, each other person only has 1 other action. So they're not going to be able to fight anything, but they could at least prep to take stuff out. But I think what we'll do is we'll move Zack and Billy down here since there's already 3 guys. Move our panic token. Jason's going to have to stay here, and Kimberly's going to go there. We have defeated the 2 monsters, Pudgy Pig and Bones. Pink Ranger and Yellow Ranger currently chilling with Alpha in the command center, healing back up. I haven't lost any lives yet. But, you know, that's just maybe for just luck, I guess. We have Red Ranger, Jason, kind of hanging out in a juice bar by himself. And Zack and Billy, Blue and Black Rangers, are in the industrial zone waiting to see what happens. Alright, so now we have to draw our... We have 4 of our 5 Zords. We're just missing the Tyrannosaurus. So we're going to flip our thing. So now, just as a reminder, it's been a little bit, I am playing with only 4 deployments instead of 5, so that might be part of the reason this is a little bit easier, but again, I kind of just want to, like, get more feel of the game, see how it goes. I am also using a special Alpha 5 variant, where I have Alpha in here. He has a couple of cards sitting over there I can use. I've only used 1 of them, so I haven't been really focusing on that too much. Because I have 5 other Rangers to deal with. They have enough cards they can usually deal with. Other than that, I haven't done anything else extra special or cheaty, I guess. We have 1 Putty Patroller at Ernie's Juice Bar. Luckily, we already have a Red Ranger there that can just bash him quick. We have 2 Putties at Ernie's Juice Bar. Ooh, they're ganging up on him. We have 2 more at Angel Grove High. So that might be the next area we have to go towards, because that can only take 1 more, and then that's Panicked. And we have 1 Putty, Super Putty at the park. Alright. So, here's what we got going on then with those. So we're going to eventually come up to fighting Rita here sooner or later. probably in the next round. So we gotta try and clear out some of these guys. We have to try and get our Zords. So Pink Ranger, Yellow Ranger are definitely gonna move into Angel Grove High. Well, I could just ignore that and have them go to Angel Grove Park and try and take that out. I'm just trying to think, though, if these guys have enough moves that can take out more than one guy. That's the thing. Like Jason, I don't think he has enough stuff, especially right now with the current cards in his hand. I know I can't take out 3 guys. I take out 1 guy or 2 guys the equivalent to Spine, but they can't take out more than 1. So let's see what we got going on. How do we want to play this? Because I could just jump in there. I can also use Mastodon's ability to take out 1 guy right away, which will make it a little bit easier for somebody. Why don't we just do this to start with? We have the blue and the black ranger right here. Why don't we use Mastodon? We'll get rid of one of these super putties. And then I'll have the black ranger become the lead ranger, and we will just see what we can do about these 2 regular putties. We'll just start with that. So we have a leaping attack, which does 3 damage, and a swarm attack, which will do 2 damage. So it's 2 and 3, it's only 5 damage I need to deal with. Well, it'd be nice to get rid of both of them. Alright, so we're going to start off with Mammoth Slam, which lets me roll 2 dice. If there are 4 more cards, I can add 1 extra dice. We're going to start with 3 dice. And Zack is going to try and take out that leaping... Yeah, he'll just try and take out that leaping attack. Now I'll have to deal with 3 damage. We hit 5, so no problem there. So I'll flip that over. And then he'll use his special ability right away. Once per battle after defeating an enemy, I may deal 1 damage to an adjacent target. So that'll hit there. Alright, so that'll scooch over. He'll attack. Billy is going to use Tactical Strike, which lets him roll 2. And I can put it back on top of my deck. So he just needs to do 2 damage, so hopefully we can do that. We only did 1. Alright, well, that's what it is, I guess, right? Sometimes that's what happens. So then that'll activate. I have to take 2 damage. We'll let Billy go ahead and take that. We already know it's 2, so that's fine. Alright, so we only beat 1 of them. But that's fine. It's 1 less that we have to beat. Now, I can go ahead and initiate another combat with 1 of them. Try and take them out. But I think I might just hold off. And not spend any more cards. See, what I'm going to do is we're going to move Zack to here. And Kimberly and Trini also to there. And we're going to move Billy over to the Red Ranger. And then I'm going to have Jason initiate combat with 3 more regular putties. So we got Cannon Fodder, 2 damage with guard, Cannon Fodder, 2 damage with guard, and a swarm attack. So I can't take out that swarm attack until I take out them 2 Cannon Fodders. Alright. I do have some Blade Blasters, which I only have 2 energy, so it's not super helpful. So I might have to spend my 2 energy, though, to do this. Now, I do have some of Billy's options, which I could have used in the last one as well. I could also use this Triceratops, but that's only once per entire round. That lets 1 ranger draw 1 card, place 1 card from. So I'm going to let Jason draw a card. He's got Team Tactics, which gains us an energy. I can put one card back on top of my deck. I'm going to put Blade Blaster back on top of there. I don't have the energy to use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to play Team Tactics. So it's gain 1 energy. If it would focus, you'd be able to actually read this. And then immediately play 1 card. So we're going to gain 1 energy. And then we're going to use that to play Mighty Maces. Use that 1 energy, roll 3 die. So Billy is going to try and take out, he's going to try and take out that middle cannon, the second cannon fodder. If he can, I can take out that swarm attack. So I only did 2 damage. It's not enough. But Jason has the ability to let me reroll a die, so we're going to try rerolling this. Which is a 0 anyhow. Alright, so as a giant waste. We are doing terrible this round. Alright, so this is going to happen. We're going to take 2 damage. Billy will reveal. Take 2 damage, so go ahead and discard that. Alright, then we have to try and beat that card. Now, the problem is my guys don't have any other attack cards. Billy has Power Blast, or Blade Blaster and Power Lance, so I don't have 3 energy, I only have 2 stored energy right now. And he has Blade Blaster. And then Jason has Block and Trial Slash. Now, I could do the basic attack, which lets me discard to roll, I think lets me roll 1 die, which is better than nothing, I guess. I could, of course, I gotta use Trial Slash as well. The only problem there is that if I do that, I'm going to lose that. So I think what I'm going to do is spend... I'm going to spend Billy's other action to add 2 energy to my pool. So I can spend 1 action. So now he's going to be stuck there. But now I can use Blade Blaster for 4. So I'm going to spend Blade Blaster, spend all 4 stored energy I have to do 1 damage here, to take that one out. Flip this. Now this is no longer guarded, so I can do 3 to that, take that out. And that's 4, so I at least took out 2 of them. Then this is going to activate. I don't have any energy, so nobody can do anything. Look up these, exactly what that rule was for the free thing. So basic attack, yeah, to form 1 die. So 1 die, I can't do 3 damage, so it's not worth discarding a card to do that. So basically we're just going to let this resolve, and I could, of course, spend Jason's action and take out that 1 other Putty, but it's just not worth it. So we're going to take out 2 of the Putties. So 2 of them will go to our board. And now that leaves us... Okay, Blue Ranger can't do anything. He's stuck in this turn. But Red Ranger still has an activate action. So he's going to activate his... And he's going to move to this battle to join these guys to help take out all of those. Because he doesn't have anything else to do. But he can... At least he can, like, block, or he has Trial Slash. He does have... If he gets some energy in here, he'll have some. Alright, so we're going to have Kimberly initiate this battle. And we are going to get 2 Putties and 2 Super Troopers. So we'll do 2 Super. We got Fast and Guard with Drain 1. Oh, that sucks. Leaping Attack, 3 damage. Putty Pummel, 3 damage. And... Flanking. Well, this card is in play. Each time another enemy card deals damage, increase it by 1. So I probably want to take that one out as quick as I can. Alright, so we have these guys. we have Fast and Guard, so I can't take out that second one until I take out Engulf. Oh, I didn't draw Trini's cards yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't draw any for anybody. She has her 5. Zack is going to stay at 3. Jason is going to draw 1 extra card. It's just our Blade Blaster, but that's alright. And then Kimberly has to draw hers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright. I should have used Billy's ability because Triceratops only affects the guys in there. So let's assume I use his to do his so I can drop the 2 cards, put them back on the top of my deck in any order. So Billy is just going to use his Triceratops to help himself. We already used the Mastodon. So Pterodactyl and this. I'll drop the 2 cards. That doesn't help me right now. Just trying to figure out what to do. That's going to activate and hit me. So it's going to do this. It's going to drain 1. So we're going to lose 1 from our shared pile. What do Alpha's cards do again? Is any of Alpha's cards here to help us? We have... Play this card when the Ranger plays a card. Turn that card to their hand instead of discarding it. Okay, it's not bad, but I have to discard a card to get these. They draw 2 cards and immediately play 1. So that might not be bad. Except if it costs something, it might not help me. And play this card before another Ranger performs an attack. Add 1 die and they return it to their hand instead. So that might not actually be bad. Beginning of each battle, I can do 1 damage to a card. So I'm going to do 1 damage to this 3. I can add 2 energy with the Pterodactyl. So that gives me 3 damage. I think what we're going to do is to stop. I have Blade Blaster again with Jason. So I think what I want to do here, because I have to get rid of that guard before I can do the other stuff. I can play Blade Blaster. I have 3 energy right now. And Trini has 1 card. Ooh, I don't think I want to do that. Instead, what does Kimberly have? Defense, flying, kicking, energy. Let's try this instead. So we're going to spend 1 energy to do Arrow Shot. There's 3, I did ignore Guard. So in ignoring Guard, I'm going to try and take out this Leaping Strike. So she gets 3 dice. We'll spend 1 energy from that pool. So she does 2, which is all I needed to do. So that will take out this. Now, for some fun here, is Zack has, the ability says once per battle after defeating an enemy, I may deal 1 damage to an adjacent target. I'm going to put 1 there. And then what's going to happen, bad guys will activate, this will click off. We are going to spend 1 more to do Saber-Tooth Strike. This attack defeats the target and may immediately perform a second attack. How I'm gonna let her use her ability to draw 2 more cards. Dang it! I was hoping to get a second Saber can strike. That's all right. Anyone else need to draw cards? Not really. I think she's the only one that needed to draw something. Oops, probably put that in her discard pile, not Zack's. Alright. She's gonna get 2 dice. Gonna try and take out that Putty pummel. Alright, we need 1. We got 3, which is more than enough. Perfect. And then she gets to perform another attack for 2. She's gonna try and take out that flanking. She gets her another 2, which takes out flanking. Perfect. Perfect. Alright, then this will activate. We just need to take up that last card. She's just going to spend this, do 2 damage to it, just take it out. Not even have to worry about it. We have 1 energy left in the shared pool. I am going to give that to Jason because he has a card that he can use it for. We're going to end this combat. Putties, supers. We get all 4 guys go on the board, which 3 of them will fill up our Zord board, which will get us another Zord. 1 more will go on there. Now we have the Tyrannosaurus Exhaustus. Before a ranger performs, add 2 dice to that attack. Perfect. So now what we have is, if we look at our board, we have 3 guys in Angel Grove Park, 1 in Ernie's Bar, and 1 at the Industrial District. The only person that can do anything is Trini. She has 1 action left. So I could move her back to the command center and have her heal. I could let her stay right there. Or I could move her to Angel Grove Park. She has enough cards. I'm not too worried about that. I think we'll move her over here. And then that way she's ready to deal with that. Actually, let's move her to the juice bar. She can help Billy out in case something bad happens there. Alright, then we're going to perform our next thing. Alright, everyone else activate. Everyone get all their abilities. Yep. Okay. Alright, now if I can defeat 4 more guys before I fight Rita, I can get my Megazord, which would definitely be super helpful, but we'll see what happens. Alright, we have 3 putties in the Industrial District. Yes, if I head to the Industrial District, I could take out 4 guys right there. 2 super putties at the park. I probably should have went to the park and dealt with those guys. Oh, we got a boss. We have 2 putties and Rita Repulsa at the park. So, one of those putties is going to go to the park. One of them is going to go here. And then we have Rita. And we are actually going to use the Kickstarter alternate sculpt of Conqueror Rita. Because when else am I going to get to use her? That panics that. Now I have to try and beat her before everything panics. And then our 4th one is we have 1 regular putty in the industrial zone. Alright. Oh boy. So now to beat the boss, you have to defeat 6 cards instead of 4. So you have to fight them at least twice. So now I have 2 options here. Is I could have a bunch of guys, everyone try and go over there, gang up, take them out. But the problem is I'm going to have another, I'm going to have at least 1 more, whatchamacallit thingy. More guys are going to come out. So if I don't take out some of these guys, That zone's already panicked. This one can only take 3 more. This can only take 1 more. So if I don't take out some of these other guys in the industrial zone, yeah, we're going to run into an issue there. But if I can take out all of those guys, I can also gain my Megazord, which will help make taking out Rita a lot easier. I have 3 lives, so I can take some time taking some of these guys out. But every guy that now appears in Angel Grove Park is just going to keep moving. So I don't want to, like, do too much. I probably want to send someone over there to attack. So we'll do this for our actions. And we'll set this up for the next video. Alright, so Jason, Red Ranger, is going to lead the charge into fighting Rita. She's going to take... I think what we'll do is we'll do Zack. We'll also join him in here. And Kimberly will join him. I'll have those 3 try and take out some of them guys to at least reduce some of the numbers. And then Billy and Trini will work on taking out these other 2 guys. And then we'll see what happens there. So I can immediately have 1 guy removed with Zack's. So I'm going to do is have one of these super guys removed. Well, it's going to be panicked either way. So it's not going to matter. I mean, it'll just keep a guy from moving. So I think I'll do is I'll remove one of these putties down here. Because I'll just make that a little bit easier there. And then I'm going to have Trini activate. And her and Billy are going to fight these 2 putties. So let's just see what these 2 guys have for us quick. Because that shouldn't take very long. Cannon fodder and leaping attack. 2 and 3 damage. Alright. So Billy needs to draw some cards because he only has a power lance. So 1, 2, 3. We'll draw 3 cards. And Trini is perfectly fine. We'll get our 2 energy. And let's just do this right off the bat. We're going to do Precise Strike. Does 2 straight up damage. We're going to do that to Cannon Fodder. So after I play this, I can spend an energy to put it back on top of my deck. So we'll spend our 1 shared energy. And we're going to follow that up right away with... oh, it's after another Ranger. Alright, no, that's fine. Then I will attack Leaping Striker. I don't know if I want to do that. We'll take that back. We'll take that back. And this red deck. We'll instead use 1 energy and we'll play Mighty Maces and we'll attack the Cannon Fodder. So I'm going to roll 3 dice for Billy. One of those. We did 1 damage. That is terrible. So we're going to spend both these. I know it's probably crazy to do that, but we're going to spend both Twink Bane Teamworks. This is after another player resolves an attack. I can spend 1, but I can use her double strike to play it a second time. So we're going to do 2 more damage, which will take this. Why did I put an energy token on him? We will take this out. And then that'll activate. Now we just need to do 2 damage. And then we'll use our Precision Strike to just do 2. And we'll put our 1 energy back. Put that back on top of my deck, so I have that. That'll take that out, so I don't have to worry about it. Before that activates, though, I'm going to let Billy draw a card, and then put 1 card back on top of his deck. Gonna put one of these counter jabs back on top of there. And then, then we're gonna end this. Alright, so I'll take care of those two. Those will go there. Those two will be gone. I only need to take out 2 more to gain my Megazord. But now each of these guys have an action. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna spend 1 action on each of them. They're gonna move to this zone and they're gonna help out. So now at least now if a bunch of guys appear in the park, they're gonna move to Ernie's Juice Bar. Which is free and open, so that's not an issue there. And if a bunch of guys hit the Industrial District, 2 more guys want to hit there, they're going to go at Angel Grove High, which is open, so I have at least an extra turn. We are into the final showdown. We are fighting off against Conqueror Rita. All the Rangers are hanging out in Angel Grove Park with a bunch of putties. Alpha's kind of like, what's going on? These guys, other putties, will hang out in the Industrial District. So Trini's used all her actions. Everybody else has 1 more action, so I can potentially fight 4 more times. To beat Rita, though, I have to defeat 6 of her cards, and she only plays 4 at a time, so I have to at least fight her twice. So it's either I can take out all 4, and then defeat 2 more and still have to survive that round, or I can defeat 3 or 2 and then 4, so I got a couple different options. Hopefully I only have to fight her at least twice and not 3 times. I do have 3 lives, so I can take some hits if I need to. I only need to defeat 2 more putties to gain the Megazord. Zack's Mastodon will let me at least get 1 each turn, so at least by the second deployment phase, I will have them. I just gotta hope that the other areas don't get overwhelmed by then, because they can only hold so many. If all 4 areas become panicked, I lose. So basically, I have to try and take out Rita as quickly as possible. If I can take out all her putties and stuff during that time, maybe if I can get some hits on them, if I can't take out her stuff, then at least they won't hurt so bad. But let's do our deployment phase. We have 1 super putty at the park, which will then move him to Ernie's Juice Bar. We have two regular putties, which I am out of regular putties. So I'm just going to put a token on the board because I don't feel like digging out my selection. These guys are going to the Industrial Park, which will panic the Industrial Park. So I could have sent some guys over there to start taking out them, but I was hoping maybe I could just take out Rita. We got 2 more super putties at Ernie's Juice Bar. And 3 more regular putties at the Industrial Park. Alright, so all 3 of these guys will just move over there and we'll just put tokens down. Alright, so this is where we run into an issue because I could use the Mastodon to take out one of the guys on Rita's area. But again, I still only have to fight 4, so it's not going to help me that much. I'm going to use a Mastodon to take out one of these guys because that unpanics this. And it gives me at least a little bit of breath of an option. But now since I have everybody on the same area, if I can't take out Rita this turn, obviously. But I have to really worry about everything panicking on the next turn. So we'll see what happens. So even if everything panics, you can usually play the last white rule set 1 more time. So basically I have to take out Rita in these 2 turns. So Jason's going to start. He's going to be our lead ranger. Does anyone need to draw cards? Jason, no. Kimberly, no. Billy's fine. Jason's fine. Trini could use 2 cards. Alright. Let's see what we got. So we'll deploy our guys. We're going to do 1 putty first. Cannon fodder. And we'll do 3 super ones. 3 damage. Each foot soldier. And okay, so that bottom swarm attack is going to be a pain. Then let's see what Rita brings us. Alright, she's going to be the pain, right? Witch's Hex. Has 5 health. List cards in play. The energy cost of all combat cards is increased by 1. Oh, everything costs at least 1 now. Great. a Wicked Hex fast. Deal 6 damage to the ranger with the fewest cards in their deck. Okay, so that's great, because that now it goes first. Fast, Chain Lightning. Deals 4 damage to each ranger. That keeps pushing that passive one farther and farther down. At least there's no guard cards, right? And 4 damage to each ranger. Alright. So that's gonna suck, because everyone's gonna take 4 damage. No matter what. Alright, so we're gonna get hit. Everyone's gonna take 4 damage. So, Jason's first. He's gonna play block, reduces damage by 3. Deal the top card of his deck to 1. He's gonna discard it. That's his 4 damage. You can immediately deal 1 damage. Just like I gotta do her ability. She's gonna do 1 to this Wicked Curse. Kimberly is going to take 1. She's gonna take 2. But then she's gonna play Acrobats. It says play this card and reveal a card for defense. Dagger, reveal a card to your hand instead of discarding and replace it at the bottom of your deck. So it's 2, 3, 4. She's gonna play her other acrobatic and get that card in her hand as well. Billy is going to get Counter Jab. Deal 1 damage to an enemy of my choice. I'm gonna throw another one on this Wicked Hex there. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then 4, so that's good. So he's down to 1 health. Jason's down to 2. Kimberly's down to 2. These guys aren't going to be able to take many more hits. Zack drew 3 right away. So then he's going to have that, which will block it, is Sweeping Strike. And Trini is going to get 2 a Sabertooth. And that will block it. Alright. Okay, we need to take out that curse, otherwise everything costs 1 more. I do have my 2 shared energy up here. But I can't keep... I'm going to take 4 damage next turn unless I can take out that chain attack as well. I do have a Blade Blaster. I have 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could do... It's going to cost me 4 to do, because it's going to cost me 1 extra to play this. So it costs me... I could take out that energy card that at least give me a free turn. If nothing else, but it costs me all my energy to do that. So is it worth it? Or... I can't suffer... So I can't suffer 4 damage for each character again. Half my guys will die. It's just not going to happen. I can use Pterodactyl to gain 2 extra energy. So then if I use Blade Blaster, I would gain... It cost me 1. I have 4. I have 5, 6 I can spend. But what if I, before I do that, do I have anyone have a card that will help me? No. Kimberly usually has that card. I'm going to use Billy's Triceratops exotic. Any ranger can have 2 cards in their discard pile and return them to their hand, or their top of their deck. We're going to do that. Okay, we're gonna try this instead. Before I do Blade Blaster to take out a bunch of stuff. No, I'm gonna have to because Wicked Hex is gonna take me out if I don't. And I can't afford that Chain Lightning. I have to take out that Chain Lightning though. Alright, so we're gonna have to do Blade Blaster. So we have to spend 1 energy just to get rid of that. Just spend this card, and I can spend 4 energy to take out that. I'll spend 4, 5. Yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to spend 5 energy, plus our 6th one for paying for Blade Blaster for Wicked Hex. So 5, so 4 will take out this Chain Lightning, so I don't have to deal with it. And then our 5th one will go on Witch's Curse. Alright. So, I guess I can focus over on these. Alright, so then what that did was, now I don't have to deal with that 4. I'd like to take out the other Chain Lightning at some point, but, now I don't have to worry about that. So now it's their turn. That'll activate. Now someone's going to have to take 6 damage. So currently, right now, it's any ranger but Billy is going to have to take 6 damage on my next turn if I can't take that out. So they're going to get KO'd probably. Because I can't do anything else about that. So that response, basically I have to decide who can I sacrifice this turn. So what I'm going to do here is Jason's going to share his 1 energy. So we're going to play Precision Strike. Does 2 damage straight up to Wicked Hex. Now I don't have any energy, so I can't put this back on top of my deck. But taking out Witch's Curse allows me to play a card for free. Now I can use Trini's ability to play my 2nd Precise Strike for free, which lets me do that extra 2 damage. So I'm going to put on Wicked Hex. I don't think anyone else has a reaction that helps me. No. So, then that'll activate. Take 6 damage. I'm going to have Trini take it. She only has 2 cards. So unless this can block 6 damage, which I can block 3. Then what I can also do here is do Smooth Moves, which lets me block 2, so it's 4, 5. And they'll block it with 6. So she stays alive, and I gain an energy. So I'm still in this. Everyone's still in this for a turn, although I'm running other stuff to do. Now, I have a free turn, but I'd like to do that 4 damage. I'm going to take some damage from the Footsoldiers, which is fine. But I'd like to take out the Rita cards if I can. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start with this. We're going to do Take Aim for 0. Gain 1 energy, may immediately play another attack. And I'm going to play Flying Kick. And we're going to try and take out that Wicked Hex, because if I take those out, I don't have to fight them again. So this is going to give me 2 dice, and I gain 2 more energy. So I got 1 hit off of that. It's not good. But I can re-roll that one. Gives me 2 more, which will bring me up to 5. Which is still not enough to take it out, but, you know, that's what it's gonna be. Alright, so then this will activate. Nothing happens. My turn again. So I'm going to use Tenacity. Gain 1 energy to 2 cards from my discard pile, return them to the top of my deck in any order. Alright, so I get that extra energy. I can put 2 cards on top of my deck. So we may as well put our 3 cost cards on there. So I only have the 1. I'll just put a second 2 cost. Ooh, actually. Alright. Okay, then, before cannon fodder activates me, Saber-Tooth Tiger. Exhaust this card during battle. Each participating ranger drop to 2 cards. Trini's going to draw 1 card because I know what I just put on top of my deck. I think everyone else is... I can't really draw anything for anyone else. Because if I do, they're probably going to die. Just because I have to watch that 3, 3, 2, and 2. So no one else can draw anything. That's fine. This is going to activate for 2. Which will have counter jab, which will do... sorry, it doesn't focus right away. Lets me do 1 damage to a thing. I can deal 1 damage to Wicked Hex, which will take out Wicked Hex. So now I don't have to deal with that anymore. And that still actually leaves me with 1 more, which will give me that, which I know is blocked. So this card revealed for defense, gain 1 energy. So I'm also going to gain 1 more energy. Now, with this turn, we have another Blade Blaster. So the question is, do I want to play this now, or do I want to spend 1 more attack? I think I'm going to do 1 more attack first. With Kimberly, we have another combination of taking aim, gain 1 energy, play another card if it's an attack, I may re-roll, do another flying kick to gain another energy. So that gives me 2 more energy. I'm going to attack that, discard pile. I'm going to attack with them 2 dice. I'm going to attack that next, I'm going to attack that swarm attack with these 2 dice. And then what I'm going to actually do is use Tyrannosaurus Rex to add 2 more dice to that. So I'm going to roll 4 dice. I rolled 2 damage. But now I can use I can use that ability to reroll these 2. I got 3 damage. Perfect. So every Zord has been used. Every card ability has been used. We're running out of stuff to do. Now this has been defeated, so I don't have to deal with that. But now Zack does 1 extra damage to that with his Hip Hop Kido, because I haven't used that yet. Alright, this is going to activate, deal 3 damage. We'll just reveal Billy's, because we know it's a 3, it'll take it. Everyone's almost dead, but that's alright. Now we're going to use Blade Blaster. Because we have a ton of energy saved up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to do 4. 5, 6. And then we'll put 1 over him on 7. Or do we even not want to worry about that? Yeah, no, we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, then this will activate. Nothing will happen. Billy's going to use counter jab on that Putty pummel to roll 1 die and does 1 damage. So no matter what, he gets 1. So I got 1 die to try and do 1 damage. 1 damage. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So that'll defeat that. This will activate. Nothing else will happen. We can clean the board. Alright, so that was that round. Alright, so that's all of our putties didn't go away. We defeated 4 of Rita's cards. We don't have to deal with those 4 again. We defeated 4 of these guys, so 1, 2, 3, 4, it doesn't matter. We're going to get our Megazord. Dun 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 dun. The Megazord says, exhaust is to place new Megazord token in any location. At the start of each battle, Megazord's current location deal 1 damage to each enemy card. So that is awesome. We'll put him over by Alpha. Alright, so then what happens is now we could initiate another battle right away with Rita. But the problem is, Trini has no cards in her hand. Kimberly has no cards in her hand. Like, everyone's down to like 1 card. So I think what we're gonna do, I can't do anything with Trini. She's gonna die if I leave her there anyhow. Jason can't go anywhere either. So those 2 are both stuck here. So they can't do anything. They can't move. Kimberly needs to go. So Kimberly is going to go back to the command center and heal before the next deployment phase. Billy is also going to go back to the command center and heal. And I think Zack is as well. So all 3 of these guys are just going to go back to the command center, heal up, they reshuffle all their decks, they gain an energy token back. So each one of them gets an energy token so they can hop back in the next round. Yeah, Jason and Trini don't have anything, but what I can do is spend 1 of their actions to do a recovery and shuffle their cards back in at the beginning of the next round. We just gotta defeat 2 of Rita's cards and stay alive. That's the kicker, though. You have to stay alive. But luckily, we haven't lost any health yet, or any of our lives yet, so we still have a chance. Oh, sorry, everything's blurry here. Alright, so this is what we're doing right now. I should probably move the camera over instead of just be talking into air. Alright, so we'll do the deployment phase, but before we actually fight, we'll end the video and we'll start the next video with the deployment phase. So everyone's going to get their 2 actions back. But yes, I give you 1 damage to everything right away with my Megazord. That will be helpful. Plus Pterodactyl does something. I can remove a foot soldier, so if a bunch don't end up in that area, that will be helpful. Alright, so before we move, we're going to go ahead. Trini's going to put up the 6 shields worth of cards back into her deck. If I want Twin Fame Teamwork, yeah, we'll do that. So those cards will go back into our 2, 4, 6, so they're going to go shuffle back into her deck. There's only so much she can do, but she might die. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna draw 2 of her cards, because I always have her ability to draw more. I'm gonna do the same thing with each of these other guys. I'm gonna draw 4 cards instead of 5. 5. They're each gonna move back into here. Doesn't matter what the deployment is, they're all gonna move back into there anyhow, so I'm just gonna move them all right now. Because they're all just going to try and take out Rita. So it doesn't matter what the other deployment is. Alright, so everyone's drawn their hands, everyone's moved in, everyone spent 1 action either moving or recovering. Deployment phase is going to be 2 putties at the park. Super putties. Ugh. Alright. Nice if nothing hit that park, wouldn't it have been? 2 regular putties at Angel Grove High, which will panic Angel Grove High. Super putties at Angel Grove High, so we're going to put 1 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1's going to go to the juice bar. This would be deployment number 4. 2 more super putties at Angel Grove High. Where are they all trying to go to the high school? Alright, so 1 more is going to go here, which would panic that. And then there would be 1 more, which I don't have anymore right now, would go to the industrial park. We can only put 5 there, so I wouldn't panic that zone at all. But if you can see this, if it focuses, everything is full. I would have 1 more guy here. I'm basically 1 away from total loss, because there would be, every zone would be panicked, and technically that's how you lose. There's the alternate rule to play with 1 extra thing. But I can also immediately remove a guy with the Mastodon. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of 1 of these guys. We'll just put him over here. It's not going to make any difference because there's still 4 of them. So let's see what our super putties are. We have regrowth, regrowth. So that doesn't make any difference. Engulf, drain 1, and putty pummel. So none of those really hurt us, except there's a fast card. That's probably not going to make any difference, but that drain 1 does not help. The only thing is if Rita has 1, and it doesn't matter. So she has 4 cards. So she has Void Binding. Deal 5 damage to the ranger with the most cards in their hand. That ranger must discard all but 1 card from their hand. She just killed someone. Cruel Laughter. Each ranger must discard 1 card from their hand with the most shields, and that has guards, so I have to take care of that first. Another Cruel Laughter. And Wicked Hex. Deal 6 damage to the ranger with the fewest cards in their deck, and that's going to go there. Alright, so at least some Cruel Laughters are at the end. And they're kind of guarding each other. Well, the problem is I have 1 fast right away, so 6 damage to the ranger with the fewest cards in their deck. So who has the fewest cards in their deck? Probably Trini. 1, 2, 3. No, Jason is also tied. Okay. So I can lose, basically 1 of them can take a hit. So basically here's how it comes down to. If I can't beat Rita this turn by taking out at least 2 of her cards and surviving, I'm going to lose the game. Because, besides the fact that everything will become over-panicked, which they technically say you can get 1 last try, I don't know if I'm going to survive much more than that. But I do have to survive this. So let's see what we can do. So she has Wicked Hex up first, which is fast. going to deal 6 damage to the Ranger with the fewest cards in their deck, which is either Trini, the Yellow Ranger, or Jason, the Red Ranger. So it's going to activate before I get to do anything. We're going to hit Jason. Before we do any of that, actually, we forgot we unlocked the Megazord, and we have a couple other abilities. So we have Quick Shot, deal 1. Kimberly can deal 1 damage to an enemy card. We're going to deal 1 damage to this Void Binding. Then we have the Megazord, which says I get to place the Megazord token in an area, deal 1 damage to each enemy card. Well, we're not going to use a paley little token. We're going to use the giant Megazord thing. Not that there's not like enough room on here already, you know, but he's going to cram in there and fight with everybody anyhow. So we do 1 damage to every other card. So 1, 2. So that brings that Void Binding down to 5, which is potentially more manageable. All of these little Putty cards aren't going to be that hard to take out, but that's all I can do. Alright, now Jason's going to take his 6 damage. So first off, we're going to do is, I thought I had a block in my hand. I don't. Well, first thing we're going to do then is play Smooth Moves. Playing any Ranger suffers damage. Reduce that damage by 2. And gaining energy. So that's going to give me 3 shared energy. So now I only need to deal 4 damage to him. So there's 3. So that'll block 3 of it. And that'll block 2, and that'll stay on my deck. Alright, so he survives. It is our turn. We need to try and do 5 damage to Void Binding in 1 turn. Otherwise, it's going to deal 5 damage to the Ranger with the most cards in their hand, and they must discard all their cards. Which currently would probably be Billy. So how can I deal 5 damage? So, Billy does have Power Lance, which lets him roll 4 dice. Just trying to see what we all have, which is the best option. Oh, crap, it has Guard. Cruel Laughter's guarding that, so I can't even attack it till I take out that Cruel Guard. Right here, we have Power Bow, which has 6 dice, and I can ignore Guard. But what we're going to do first is do Team Tactics, gain 1 energy. Another Ranger choice may immediately play 1 card. So we can spend 1 of that energy towards Power Bow, which is 3. So I don't have to spend 2 energy to play that. We're going to get to roll 6 dice. I need to make sure I take this out. So, do I want to? Yes, we're going to use Tyrannosaurus Rex to add 2 extra dice. We're going to roll 8 dice. To make sure we can take this out. So we got our 6 pink dice, and we got our 2 red dice. 4, 5, 6, which is way more than I needed. But again, if I would have gotten both of them, would have been 1s, that might not have been enough. She had 7, 6, 5. So I needed to do 5, and I got 7. So I'll take out Void Binding. So I don't have to deal with that. Now, it might have been extreme, but again, I only need to take out 2 of Rita's cards to win. So now I just need to really take out 1 of those Cruel Laughters and then survive the rest of these hits. Since these cards just say, each Ranger must discard a card with the most shields. I don't get damage. I just lose cards. Drain 1, put a Putty into play, deal 3 damage. So basically, I only have to take 3 damage at the end. I'm probably not going to lose this. But I'm going to see if I can take everything out regardless. Alright, so this will activate. But since we also did that, we can use Hip Hop Keto. to put 1 extra damage on an adjacent card. Perfect. So now, what do we got? So now it's our turn. I'm just trying to see what else we can do. It'd be nice to not have to take that card either. So I need to do 3 damage. I don't have enough energy to do a big thing. So what we're going to try is we're going to try Zack's. He has Super Big Strike. I can roll 2 dice, deal 1 damage to an adjacent card. So we're going to attack that first Cruel Laughter. We're going to roll 2 dice. Does 2 damage. It didn't take it out. But at least it put 1 more damage on that one, right? So then that'll activate. Each ranger discards a card with the most shield in their hand. So there's Trini's, Zack's. Dang it, it's his other Sweeping Strike. I was hoping to use that. Discard Power Lance, since we're not going to have enough energy to play it. Acrobatics is perfectly fine, and Triano Slash. Alright. Now we need to do 2 damage to Cruel Laughter, so it doesn't hit us again. Alright, so Trini's going to go ahead and play this, just a straight up 2 damage. She's going to spend the 1 energy to put it back on top of her deck. So I'll do 2 damage to that. So we don't have to worry about it. Then that's going to activate. Our turn again. So now I can try and take out Engulf. Or I can... or I can start taking out some of them other cards. Now, the Putty Patroller ones I'm not really worried about, because the regrowth, because whatever. They're going to add 1 Patroller either way. The game, if they immediately lost as soon as everything got panicked, playing both of them would make me lose the game, because it'd add 1 there, which would panic. That zone's already panicked. It would bring 1 here, way over to the industrial zone. It would panic that, and I would lose anyhow. So if I was playing that, I'd have to take out both of them, or I'd have to worry about getting panicked. I only have 1 energy, so I'm going to probably lose that. So I gotta play a free card. So why don't we try this? So I gotta take out that Wicked Hex up there. We're gonna try Mammoth Slam. Actually, what we're gonna do first is we're gonna do Lead the Charge. Anytime Ranger perform an attack, add 1 die to that attack. So we're gonna roll 2 dice. We're gonna try and take out this Engulf. This first Engulf here, so I don't have to drain my energy. I got 1 damage. That's all I needed. So I'll flip that over. Perfect. This will exhaust. Then Mammoth Slam is going to hit. So if there are 4 or more cards in your discard pile, add 1 die to this attack. So it's already 2. So I had 3. And then Lead the Charge is going to add a 4th die, and we're going to try and take out that Wicked Hex up at the top. So I need 4 damage. I got 3. So not enough. But I'm going to use Jason's ability to reroll these 2 dice. And I got 2 zeros anyhow, because I apparently suck. Alright. This is going to activate. It's going to add a Trooper there, which will add Ding, 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 which would add another guy over to here, which would panic that zone. But I need to take out... I basically beat Rita. I can't lose at this point. I'm just trying to finish off the game. But I'd like to take out the rest of her cards if possible. So what would be really nice to do would be to have a Blade Blaster with some energy. Oh, I did get my energy from playing that... No, this card right here. So we're going to play Knowledge is Power. Gain 1 energy. A ranger of your choice may search their deck for a card and put it in their hand. Shuffle if they do. So we're going to gain 1 energy. Kimberly is going to look for her Blade Blaster because I don't think she's played it. There we go. Shuffle my deck. So then this is going to activate. Perfect. We are going to spend our Blade Blaster. We have 1, 2, and 3 energy to do 1 damage here, 2 damage here, and we'll do a 3rd damage to this one. Which will take this out, take that out, and then this one will hit us for 3, which Billy will gladly take. So 1, 2, 3. Alright. Boom, we get it. We beat Rita. All these guys go away. I didn't even lose any lives. The Rangers win. I destroyed Angel Grove. We won the game. Alright, that was Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid playthrough. Super long video, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this... Let me know if this format worked with me kind of moving the camera. I know it'd be better if I had just an overhead camera and maybe like a secondary camera for just doing my cards. Or my hand, which would be kind of fun. But until I can get a better setup for that, this is what I had. So I hope that this seemed to work well enough. Just let me know in the comments. See you guys later. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Jason. So this is Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid playthrough. So this is the last video in this set. Or if you're watching the entire thing, this is just the end of the video. It's kind of a wrap-up review of what I thought of the team and the villains. So if you either watched everything already or if you're just checking this out to see what my thoughts are, here's what we're going to go through. So this was the main 5 Rangers that we fought with. The original Power Rangers. We had, Trini, Yellow Ranger, Zack, Black Ranger, Kimberly, Pink Ranger, Jason, Red Ranger, and Billy, the Blue Ranger. So we had the original 5. I also had Alpha in here. I'm not going to really talk too much about Alpha in this video, just because I used, I think one Alpha card the entire game. So I'll kind of get to that a little bit later, and explain why I'm not going to. But that's why, just in case, like, well, what about Alpha? It's fine, I'm not mentioning it. We'll bring it up later. Yeah, so if you watch all the videos, you see I won. I did play with some, kind of changed rules. I did 4 deployments instead of 5, which, in terms of how difficult the game was then, I think, yes, it gave me a high advantage of making sure I could probably win, because I wasn't getting overwhelmed too much. Because the early game, I had no issue taking out Footsoldiers without a problem. Even when the first boss got there, I was able to, like, have a couple of my Rangers jump over, take out a few Footsoldiers, then hop in and fight all 5 Rangers fought the bosses at a time. I was able to do the same thing with Rita. Now, when I got to Rita at the end, because, also because of the fact that I only did 5 deployments, I had enough time to take her out twice before the board would have overwhelmed. The only way it would have overwhelmed was because of the regrowth card from the Putties. But that being said, if I would have done one more deployment, I probably would have had maybe 2 bosses out at the same time, or I would have had enough guys out. I would have had to separate my Rangers out a lot more, which would definitely have made the game a lot harder. Just that one deployment card can make all the difference. I was playing a modified version also of... they have Scenario 0 that you can play. So I didn't follow it completely correct, but you do play a modified version of Scenario 0. What they do is they have you take a bunch of cards out. So you take out some of the extra flanking cards and flanking and regrowth, which are actually, two of the more painful cards to play against for the Footsoldiers, and then Ravenous Hunger and Shadow Binding, which are both definitely a pain in the ass too. We'll look at them when we get to those. I left all those cards in. I thought, okay, I'm playing 5 Rangers, plus I have an Alpha support if I need it, and I'm playing before deployment. I don't think I need to make it that easy, and that's what I was kind of trying to test. They also had other options in here for Scenario 0, about when you play like Pudgy first and then play Bones second. I actually ended up playing Bones first, just because that's how it got shuffled, and I just randomly grabbed one and shuffled them into the deck. It also mentions about putting extra hits on some of their certain cards that are at least the more painful ones to fight. Just in that way, you're also like, hey, these are exactly what you're fighting. This kind of gives you an advantage. Same thing as Rita. I didn't do any of that either. I played the game in full. The only handicap I gave myself was at 4 deployment. I can see trying to do 5 deployment with maybe some of this stuff. Maybe these guys coming a little bit weaker, or less certain cards. That might also make a difference. So I might have to try that at some point. But yeah, that's what we had. We did win, but again, it was just barely. I literally was on my second time beating Rita to finish her off. I won that match pretty much easily because of what Putty cards were drawing. If I would have had a bunch of super Putty cards that would have done damage to me, I would have been in trouble. But all the ones I got were like, no, we don't do any damage, so I didn't have to worry about not surviving. Because at the end I would have taken 3 damage. Even still, I probably would have only lost a life or 2. But then there's also that difference. I didn't have to spend any lives, whereas if I would have had to spread my Rangers out, I probably would have started to lose some of them lives, and maybe I still would have won. I just would have had to sacrifice my guys to do so, but I had enough time to move things around. Alright, so let's look at some of the cards first. So rather than starting with the Rangers, I want to start with the bad guys. Because we spent, other than the Footsoldiers, we spent the least amount of time with them. So let's start with our Putty Patrollers. I'm not going to sit here and go over necessarily every card in super detail. But just saying, like, a little bit of talk about each one. So, the Putties have their cannon fodder, which does 2 damage, and their leaping attacks, which do 3. Either one of those, not too bad to deal with. Easy hits to take. You can, play around with them. Then they had their flanking attacks. So increases the damage by 1. Definitely can be worse, especially when you're combining it with a boss or one of the monsters. But just by themselves, they weren't too bad until you were trying to fight things with, or there was, even at most, there was 4 cards. So it's like 3-4 damage. It wasn't too bad. Where it did become a problem was Swarm Attack. Because almost every time I got this out, this ended up being like a 4 or 5 damage card, which is like a small boss attack. And when I drew 2 of these at a time, this ended up becoming my problem. But because there's 3 health, and no guard or anything, it gives you something to focus on. So really, the Putties were fun to play as. They're nice. They're not too bad to deal with. Again, this is a little frustrating card if you get like 5 Footsoldiers out. If you have 2, it's not a big deal. If you have 1, it's super weak card. But yeah, they're fun, little easier guys to play as. Then the Super Putties, which are supposed to be a little bit higher powered. Of course, they have Regrowth, which is that card we had at the end, which, for panicking reasons, yes, it can be a pain. Otherwise, I think it's kind of like, other than worrying about things panicking, I'm not worried about having to go and fight an area that has 5-6 guys in it. It's not a problem. for the purpose of just having to fight against four cards. That's not really a big deal. Having to fight 4 putties and stuff, yeah, it takes a little bit, but it's definitely doable. Other than the panic division, or if you're playing against that swarm attack, which these guys have as well. That's the other reason that, and combined with that other one, if you get multiple swarm attacks in there, these can definitely be a pain, because then you can get 5 or 6 in there, and now these are doing 5-6 damage, even though you're only fighting off against the 4 cards. They also just have the easy 3 damage card. And then their other one that was kind of a pain was the Engulf, just because it has that fast. The guard was a little annoying, but it didn't really hinder me that much. Because this is 2 damage, it's easy to drop a 2 damage on there with just about anybody. Because almost all Rangers roll at least 2 dice per attack. So it's not too bad to deal with. But the draining 1 energy right off the bat sucks. All drain effects are, a pain because it's less cards you can play. But yeah, so, the Putty's a little bit stronger. More super putties are more just different than the regular putties, not necessarily stronger. Now let's look at our monsters. So we have Bones, of course. Bones sucks because all his cards are fast. So, except for Regeneration, which is the worst card. So he's always, you're fighting off against Bones. If you remember that, you know that he's always going to attack first, no matter what. You just don't know what ability he's going to get. And then depending on if he has that regeneration or not, which will, so here's regeneration. Flip all defeated Bones cards in the battle face up. They're no longer defeated. So, every time you draw a fast card, since it goes to the front of the stack, this always gets pushed to the end. So basically, you have to defeat this card before it resolves, or you have to wait until after it resolves. And then when you're fighting off the Putty cards or your Foot Soldier cards, then take out this and try and take out Bones, which can make him hard to defeat just because of this one card. And if something has guard next to this, then I have to focus on that. So this could be the only reason why you might have to fight Bones multiple times to take out 4 of his cards, because it doesn't make sense to waste all your energy taking out all the rest of any of the rest of his cards unless regeneration's off the board. But then you had Stelical Swords, 4 damage to the lead ranger. Not too bad. Especially again, if you play this enough to know what these abilities do, knowing that he's going to do the damage to a lead ranger, you can kind of anticipate who should start the battle. And 3 damage to 2 different rangers. They said 2 putty attacks. Again, 3-4 damage are definitely manageable. And then his last one was, again, the Gravedigger Slash, which is drain 1 energy. Each ranger must discard the bottom card of their deck. Now, this one could cause some problems depending on who you're playing, because some guys stack their decks in certain ways, so that might mess things up. If you put a certain card on your bottom of your deck, usually you don't. You try to put it on the top. But that drain energy does hurt too. At least it doesn't do damage to you. But it does cost you a life. It's basically, bottom of your deck is your life, and you can't do much about it. And if you only have 1 card left for whatever reason, that's your life. But at least you get and since it's each ranger, you don't even get the option of being like, oh, I can sacrifice this person. Nope, everyone's going to get hit. So that does suck. So he's a good boss. He's nothing too hard you can't handle. You just have to make sure you plan your attacks right. Then we have Pudgy Pig. Says Solid Fork Stab. Guard deals 4 damage to the ranger's most cards in their hand. This is a fun one because anything with this is a timing effect. So you see it coming up, you could almost dictate who it's going to hit based on who plays what cards. Red Ranger and Yellow Ranger both have 4 cards in their hand. Everyone else has 3. Red Ranger only has 1 life. Yellow Ranger has 5. Okay, great. Red Ranger has to play a card before this hits. so the Yellow Ranger takes that damage. Like, you can kind of pick around who just to target that. And he has a bunch of those. He also has a bunch of the butter knife cutters, 3 damage to 2 different Rangers, much like Bones. Just basically 2 putties smacking you. He also has, now he has the I'm Hungry card. Now this is the one that came from the not fan appreciation. It was in was it in the Heroes United set? I think it was in one of the big box sets. I think, or one of the small sets. One of the small sets. I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But it was a re-release version versus I'm Ravenous. It was the easier version to deal with. And it's recommended to play because it is a little bit easier to play. I don't know if I can. Do I have the other one sitting here? Let's see. Just one sec. Sorry, I was trying to see if I had the original sitting around somewhere I could grab quick. I don't. I do also just that's a Z Putty. We don't care about Z Putties right now. Yeah, I'm not sure where that card went. Oh, wait, here it is. Alright, so here's the original Ravenous Hunger. Sorry. So if you buy this game in the base set, this is what you would get. Well, as cards in play, Rangers cannot play cards with a cost of energy cost of greater than 0. This shuts down all your cards that cost greater than 0. So this is a pain in the ass to play against. So they made a little bit easier version, a little bit different to fight with. So you have I'm Hungry, which is one I fought, because it drains 2 energy. Which, if you're pulling 2 energy out, that does, that at least sucks your 2 shared energy. If you had, if none of your Rangers had personal energy, then you're basically down to you can't, the same effect as that one, where you can't play any cards. But the difference is you can always play other cards that gain energy and then reuse it. With the Ravenous Hunger, you can't at all. It doesn't matter. You could play cards to build back up to 10 energy somehow, and it wouldn't matter. So this one just, it kind of puts you in that same situation a little bit, but it lets you come back out of it. And then each Ranger must discard a card from their hand with the highest energy cost. But when defeated, each Ranger may return 1 card from their discard pile to their hand. So I love about this is, it would have made more sense, but like, each Ranger puts a card under him, and then when you defeat this card, they get that card back. But the way it actually works, which is kind of fun, is you have to discard your highest cost energy card, then you get any card back. So you can, most likely, let's say you're probably going to discard your 3 cost one, which is your signature weapon, or one of your, more than likely. But you could be like, you know what, I don't have enough energy to play that anyhow. So you can get back one of your 0 cost cards that are cheaper. So in a sense, this is kind of a nice little trick around there. At least that's what I did. Alright, so that was those, and let's look at Rita quick. Rita, of course, being a boss, bosses are always going to be harder. She says Witch's Curse. Well, it's in play, all the energy costs of all combat cards are increased by 1. This is the most annoying card I've come across, because that makes all your 0 cost cards cost 1, all your X cards cost at least 1 to start with. If it was all your non-zero cards, or all your attack cards that said attack, like your passives and your maneuvers were still 0, that might not be so bad, but because it says combat cards. Unless I am misunderstanding that, and a combat card would only be an attack card. Which maybe I misunderstood, that's how that was supposed to be played, but my thought would be, it's all your cards. If it wasn't, it was only supposed to be the attack cards, then I definitely played this wrong, and I could have done a lot more stuff. We have Chain Lightning, deal 4 damage to each Ranger. So yeah, if the other 2 guys had 2 damage to each, or 3 to each, which is intolerable, 4 to all of them, you definitely have to plan for that, because there's really no way to negate or get around who's taking the damage. And again, the thing is, if you're playing 2 Rangers, well, it's 4 and 4. Again, that's not too much different than the other. You're playing a 5 Ranger deck, or all 5 Rangers are attacking. Everyone's taking 4 damage. So unless you have some good way to block stuff, you get hit with this, you can probably survive it. But then you get hit with a second one or another big attack. That's gonna hurt. We have Wicked Hex, deals 6 damage to the Ranger with the fewest cards in their deck. Kind of like that other one where you could modify what cards are in your hand. You should have some control over this, because you could play something like you draw a card or put a card back on your deck in preparation, but it's less control because you don't always have that card with that option. Plus, you don't want to like draw extra cards from your deck just so that way someone can take damage. But yeah, of course, this sucks again. If you know this is coming up, okay, this person has 2 health left, they're going to take 6 damage. Make them play a card first if they need to. See if they can use any of their cards before they get hit. Not necessarily it's the best idea, because maybe it might make more sense to play a different character. Then we have Cruel Laughter. Each Ranger must discard a card with the most shields. Yeah, this is probably the nicest one. I don't mind this one that much. Getting hit with shield damage isn't too bad. And then her final one is Avoid Binding. Again, this is the added on, like the updated version. It says, deal 5 damage to the Ranger with the most cards in their hand. That Ranger must discard all but 1 card from their hand. Yeah, so you can kind of dictate, again, by playing cards. If you see this coming up. The only thing is it's fast. So if there aren't other fast cards, this might hit you on the first turn or the second turn. Although 2 of her other cards are fast as well. So it just depends on what order this comes out. This hits you on the first turn, and you can't dodge it. That's going to kind of suck. This is Shadow Binding, which is the original version. So it says, deal 3 damage to the Ranger with the most cards of their hand. That Ranger must discard their entire hand. This does damage, then it also makes them discard their hand. So basically, they're minimal damage, but now they're out of that round. This one does more damage, it does 5, but at least lets them stay in the combat. So it's potentially going to take them out, but you can possibly block 5 damage either, because I mean, Billy has good defense. Like Red Ranger Jason had his block card. Black Ranger had smooth moves to let him help negate damage. There's enough other cards to help negate damage, so you could probably survive this 5. And that character could at least stick around with 1 card left in their hand. Maybe be able to do something to help out their team. The other one does 3 damage, which might not be enough to take them out. But they're out of the thing. They can't do anything. I mean, even at least with 1 card in your hand, you could play the extra rule with a basic attack, which you can discard a card to roll 1 die. At least it's something they could do. And if they hit enough 5 damage, that hits that guy, takes them out. Then at least they get to go back. 3 damage, they might survive it, and then they're stuck doing nothing. Also, like, because I was playing with Alpha, he had the ability I could discard a card from my hand to use one of his cards. So if you're playing with someone like Alpha, and there's an automated one, that's also another thing you could do with this card. Is like at least discard it and have a good Alpha card to play instead. But yeah, Rita has a lot of hard cards. I doubt she's the hardest boss, but she can be difficult if you're not prepared for her. Again, I got lucky. I was able to bring all 5 Rangers over to attack her. But if I would have had to, like my first match, I brought all 5 Rangers over, beat her. If I would have had to then separate half my teams out to go take out all the putties, or just ignore her for a round, to go clean out all the putties for a round, so I didn't panic, what I would have had to do is just ignore her for a round, taking out all the other putties, so that way the entire board was cleared up, and hope everyone can take out groups of, like, 2 guys can take out groups of 3s and 5s. Then everyone can hopefully jump back in and take her out, or at least maybe send one or 2 Rangers in there to maybe deal, like, a card or 2 of damage, and then probably die. It would have been interesting if I would have had to fight her a third time. Alright, so that was our bosses. Let's jump into the Rangers here. Alright, so our Rangers, we're going to start off with, we're just going to look at each one. How I kind of thought they were effective, or what I thought of each one. Now, I'm not going to sit here, any gameplay I play of Power Rangers, I don't think I'm ever going to sit here and say any Ranger is bad. They're all very situational, they all work off of each other. And I also think every deck kind of has two different utilizations. So, of course, with the Red Ranger, his ability here is all about re-rolling dice. And then his cards are all about taking control. So he better usually if he acts first. So here he can re-roll dice with this so he can get some good power attacks. But he uses a lot of his stuff like lead the team. If he went first, they could add an extra die. So this was helpful to have the extra die some of the time. But it also meant I usually had to roll a weaker attack first. With 2 dice versus maybe rolling someone else with 3. But it was, again, better than maybe the next guy to roll 4 dice. Or use their other abilities. But yeah, he's really good about... Red Ranger's really good at working with his team. Sometimes he's going to go first. Sometimes he needs to take them hits first. Like he can take the block to help everyone else. I only used it on himself, but he can use it for any Ranger. So basically, he'll go first, or he'll be blocking, working with his team. Here he can gain energy, let someone else play another card. I utilized this a bunch. It was a really great card to be playing. And then, of course, we have the Power Sword, which just has a lot of stuff. And then next time any Ranger performs, add 2 dice. So yeah, his 2 things he goes back and forth is either re-rolling dice, or adding extra stuff, adding extra effects or dice to your the next Ranger's attacks. So yeah, he works kind of a good. He can either be a good forerunner, have him go first, or have him sit back and help protect the team and boost up their stuff. So he makes some really good for some good combats. Up next, well, let's look at his Zord right away. We have his Zord. We didn't get to use him much. We got Triceratops at the end, but it says exhaust us before a Ranger performs an attack to add 2 dice. Again, just supports that adding dice abilities. And basically be able to do that with anything without having to play another card first was really helpful. Then we have Kimberly, of course. She has Quick Shot, probably one of the easiest to do but also most beneficial abilities in the game. Just start of the battle, deal 1 damage to an enemy card. It's very helpful because then something starts with damage, but it's also kind of like you have to look at all your cards and everyone has to kind of agree like what makes the most sense, because does it make sense to put 1 hit on a 4 cost hoping that someone rolls 3, or you put it on a 3 so someone can just play a 2 cost damage, or you play it on a 2 and then there's some difference there. The nice thing is it can avoid guard, so it's usually a good one to play on either guard or a high cost. Hey, free damage is free damage. And that's sort of where Kimberly's utility comes in. She can ignore that guard, which really helps, especially if you're playing with Jason right before, add the extra die to it, or getting to reroll some of these helps. She teamed up really well with him. So ignore the guard when choosing a target. Take out that, that regeneration with that guard sitting next to it, or the void binding, or whatever you need to. And then her flying kick. She's great. She's really good at just gaining energy. Play a quick attack, gain extra energy, set up for a power attack. Same thing, take aim, gain energy. Play another card if it's an attack. I may reroll my dice. Sets you up for that guard ability. Her acrobatics is probably the one I didn't really use at all. When you reveal a card for defense, add your revealed card to your hand instead of placing it on deck. Not that it's definitely a great way to get your cards back into your hand. So if she's going to take damage, this is super helpful. The only thing is I wish almost it was more of a reactionary ability, like Billy's ones with the stars. I wish it was more like, if this card was revealed, you know, something like that. Like, if this got revealed with my 3 shields, I could put a different card from my hand, my discard pile back in my hand, rather than just blocking an attack. It's a mediocre block. Like, it's good, like, to get a card that I'm going to lose anyhow, but I guess I'd rather have this back in my deck than have it wasting a spot in my hand, with especially the 3 shields. So this is probably the weakest card I had there. And then, of course, she has her Power Bow, which does an incredible 6 and ignore guard. And since you could play her Take Aim right before that to gain energy, makes that cost 2. Plus, you can reroll all your die. And if you played something like Jason before that to gain extra dice, or you have Tyrannosaurus Rex, even better. Then, even also on top of that, if you have her Pterodactyl out, you can gain 2 energy. So, by herself, she could play Take Aim, gain 1 energy, play this card, but also play Pterodactyl to have 3 energy. Ignore a guard, have 6 dice, and just to reroll it. So she can make her own little team right there. That's definitely great. Then we have Zack, the Black Ranger. So once per battle, after defeating an enemy with an attack, and they deal 1 damage to an adjacent card. Now, on the front, I'm going to say, this sounds like the best ability ever. You defeat a guy, I get 1 extra free damage. It's almost like, it's like a lesser version of Kimberly's. Because it's only once per battle. But then you can also, but then the problem I kind of started having with it when actually playing was, do I attack something to try and use this ability, or do I just worry about taking out my stuff? And it added that extra little thought in there I didn't need to keep having. So again, it was like, okay, I need to take out this card that's this card in the middle of like the 4 cards. Now, if I take him out, I can do damage to one of the guys on the side. But then there's some kind, or the bottom card. I mean, there's usually something you can do damage to. But sometimes it was also like, or do I try and spend it on this weaker card? Like, instead of trying to roll and do 4 damage to this big card and hope to use it there and weaken something else, do I do it to a, for sure, 2-hit and then use it there? So yeah, it's nice, but it's just kind of like Kimberly's. It's like you use it and then you're kind of stuck in case it would have been better later on or on a different guy. Extra damage was fun. Yeah, he has some really fun cards in here. So he has Reckless Blow. For rolling, you may discard the top card of your deck to deal 2 damage. So basically, take your own damage to roll 2 extra die. I use this almost every time. Why not get a roll 4 dice? It's definitely going to help you take out anything. But if you only needed to take out a small foot soldier, 2 dice might be enough. But this is great to work with his ability, because then you could pump up the dice, hopefully do some things. And they also work great with Mammoth Slam, which is normally 2 die, but once you have 4 cards in your discard pile, it adds 1 extra die, so it becomes 3. So as he gets weaker, he gets his better attacks. So he's the only one, for like taking deep, I wasn't using him this way, but like he really makes sense to take hits, because then he gets more cards in there for some of these effects. Plus he has smooth moves, which I use a lot. This card was incredible. I didn't actually realize this was in here, until I started playing him. But yeah, being able to negate 2 damage for any enemy and getting energy, almost better than Jason's block of 3. Like, 3 is great. Don't get me wrong, but 2 with that extra energy point was almost better in having 1 extra damage. And then finally, or not finally, but we also have Sweeping Strike, which I didn't use nearly as much as I wanted, because I knew he had splash damage cards. But deals 1 damage to an adjacent enemy target. It was just so many times where it's like, rolling 2 dice, I had other cards that gave more damage. For 1, I could roll something and gain energy and ignore guard with Kimberly. Or I could play Trini to do some extra stuff, or Jason to let someone else roll an extra die. And most of that stuff, getting the extra die or doing direct damage, made more sense than hoping that his 2 dice would let me do an extra point. Although this, the thing is, because I think my brain kept getting this mixed up with his ranger card. Because I was thinking like, oh, I have to defeat them to do this extra damage. It just automatically does damage. Just almost should have been like my go-to first hit, like throw this out. Okay, now did I defeat that Putty? Nope, but at least I did 1 extra damage to the one next to me. The only thing I was having an issue with this, instead of being a starter attack, I was trying to use it as a finisher. Because I didn't want to, like, okay, so I didn't finish off this Putty because I rolled bad, and then now this other one has 1 damage. So great, now that guy has 1 health, and this other guy has 1 health. Now I have to spend a bunch of extra cards to do 1 damage. Versus I was trying to get it to where, like, he could roll this and he'd do that 1 damage to a guy that had 1 health left. So it's probably why I didn't use it as much as I should have, because I was thinking it had to be a finisher more than a starter. Although, combined with Blade Blast, it would be a great way to finish off a bunch of guys at once at the end. And then, of course, his big old power axe, where he uses it as an axe, of course. 3 dice. After rolling, choose 2 dice from this attack and deal that much damage to the enemy, to the adjacent card. I never even used this. I don't even know if I ever had this in my hand. More than maybe like once, but when I did, I never had enough energy for it. Yeah, because this could have definitely been great to take out a lot of guys at once. I just never got it, or if I did, I forgot that this is what this did, and I didn't utilize it. But again, it's a great starter card, great finisher card. I wish I would have remembered to use it more often. And we have Billy. So Billy's kind of interesting. So I like this Jason, forefront attack or support. Pink Ranger, ignoring guards, or she gains you energy. Black Ranger, he's good at taking damage, or kind of that way, or he has some spreading some little bit of damage out. Blue Ranger is all about defense and playing with the cards in your hand. She says once per battle, may draw a card and then place 1 card from their hand back on top of the deck. I don't feel like I utilize this nearly as much as I should have, because I kind of looked at the cards in my hand and I'm like, yeah, these cards are good enough. Like, I don't think I need to. But I probably should have been shuffling stuff like Kimberly's acrobatics back on top of her deck every time if they're in the same battle. Just because I wasn't utilizing that card, and it made more sense to have that 3 shields on there. Or maybe if I didn't have enough energy, getting rid of those power weapons instead of holding out for them. But yeah, I mainly used Billy for, he has good attacks, but I mainly just used him to absorb damage because he has great defenses. 3 shields on this card, if revealed. Gain 1 energy. Great. I mean, it has 3 dice damage, which is awesome as well. But that defense is incredible. Same thing with counter jab. Only 1 shield, but 1 revealed. I did an automatic choice. Good reactionary ability. Help throw some extra damage out. Plus, is just attack there. He's the only guy, or one of the only few Rangers that have like direct damage. So, again, roll 1 die, for sure 1 damage, no matter what. His tactical strike. After you play this card, place it back on top of your deck instead of discarding. Again, sets up for good defense. Does minimal damage. Can't argue with that at all. Then he has knowledge as power, which I only used once, and I kind of sat there in my hand all the time. I'm like, this isn't bad. It's a great card, actually. It's very good. I think most of the time, because if they're by themselves, I didn't really need, if there's only like 2 Rangers by themselves, I didn't really need to worry about it. And when I was playing with 5 Rangers, I had so many options to me that I didn't generally need to go look for a specific card. Because most of the guys, I was like, no, like, between all of us, we have the cards we need. But I can definitely see moments where, and more so if playing these, if you play the same characters, the Rangers, over and over, I can see where this card become more powerful, because you definitely be like, no, this, like, Kimberly right now needs to take aim. She needs to have this card. Or, Zack needs his sturdy blow, or Jason needs his block. Like, we need them defense cards. Definitely see how this could definitely become more powerful once you start knowing what's in every deck a lot better. But yeah, gaining energy always great. Ranger tries to search their deck for a card, add to their hand. If they do, they must shuffle their deck. That's the only thing you have to watch with Billy not using it on himself, because he likes to put a lot of cards back on top of his deck. So that could kind of mess that up. But yeah, definitely a great card that I did not utilize nearly as much as it should have. And then he has Power Lance, which has 4. Place this card on top of your deck instead of discarding. So again, it's all about defense. And there was, not a bad thing to have. I just didn't need the defense from him as much because I had his other cards stacked already. So it didn't make sense for me to play this, because I don't think I even played it once. And then finally we have our Yellow Ranger. We haven't been looking at any of their Zords. Let's look at their Zords quick. Mastodon Zord, exhaust this card, immediately remove 1 Footsoldier from any location and place it on the experience track. Awesome. Can't complain about that at all. One time I used it, it let me level up immediately, because I only had 1 guy left. And if not, I always remove 1. Again, towards the end, it was kind of pointless, because if there's more than 4 troopers on a thing, you're always going to fight 4 anyhow. So, yeah, if you get this later when everything starts getting covered up, the only thing it's helping you do is gain extra experience or panicking. If you're already at your last Zord or your Megazord, then it doesn't help as much except for panicking. If you get this right off the bat, like this is the first Zord you get, this is immensely powerful, because then instead of fighting 3 Putties in an area, I'm fighting 2. Or instead of having to worry about there being 3 in that area, now there's only 2 there, and I can come back and deal with it later. So it kind of just depends on when you get it. And then the Triceratops for the Blue Ranger. Exhaust this card, go like any Ranger, choose 2 cards from the discard pile, return them to the top of their deck. Stacking your deck is definitely great. I didn't utilize this nearly as much as I probably should have either. I should have been using this as soon as I had it. I should have used this every turn as much as possible. Just keep funneling people's discard back on for health. If nothing else, for health. But some of it made sense to have some of the 3-cost shields or other things built up in there. And then, since we're like the Yellow Ranger anyhow, that card works really well with the Yellow Rangers. Exhaust this card during the battle. Each participating Ranger could drop the 2 cards. So if you're using Triceratops, like during a battle, you can pick a Ranger, put 2 cards on top of their deck in any order, and then you can go through and have Saber-Tooth Tiger draw those 2 cards immediately. So it's a great way for any Ranger to get any 2 cards they need. But again, that's the only thing with the Yellow Rangers is if you plan this, it works really nice. Like, hey, draw 3 cards instead of 5. Then if you need them extra cards, you can exhaust this, and all of a sudden, boom, everyone can have 5. Which is what I started to do when I got it. It kind of helps you maybe like, hey, I have 5 Rangers in a thing, I don't need as big of a hand as I do. If I'm only playing 2 Rangers, again, even if I only have 2 Rangers in there, but I'm fighting off against 3 Putties, I only have so many attacks. The cards I have in my hand might be enough, and it keeps health. So this is a lot better card than it sounds. It's just, it also, when you start getting against bosses, drawing 2 extra cards, and I know it's up to, so you can draw 0 or 1, but drawing them extra cards can be very dangerous, because it might be your health that you're running into. Alright, then Trini's ability. She has a fun ability. Once per battle, after you play a card, you may immediately play another card with the same name. So really fun, but also one of the harder ones to use. Everybody else's ability is fairly easy to activate. Jason's reroll die. You're rolling dice all the time. Billy's once per battle, draw a card, shuffle a card. You can do that whenever. Kimberly, start of the battle, not a problem. Zack's a little bit trickier because you have to wait till you defeat an enemy, but you're going to be defeating enemies throughout the entire game no matter what. That's the whole point of it. It just might be whether you have someone where it makes sense to place that damage. Hers is the only one that's kind of tricky to use because you have to have 2 cards of the same name. So you really have to watch what you play and when you play it. Which again works really well with her Zord if you get that. If you get Zord early on so you can kind of play that. So we have Twin Fang Teamwork, which is a 0 cost one, which works really nice. Play this card after another ranger resolves an attack to deal 1 damage to the target. In concept, I love this card. Hey, they get damage, I can play this to deal 1 extra damage to that target. Or if with her double ability, I could potentially play it a second time, and then do 2 damage, which is really great if I just need to finish someone off. Lots of the times I start attacking a guy, though, I would beat them, and it's like, no, I don't need to use this attack, so it just kind of sat in my hand. Yeah, so it's a great finisher, but it also, again, kind of like her ability, it requires a specific situation. And then, of course, she has Tenacity, Gain Energy. Choose 2 cards from your discard pile, return them to the top of your deck in any order. So this, again, works really well for hit. Now I get a draw during my next battle. I know I can get these cards. I just played 2 cards with Double Strike. Or I have one of them in my pile because I discarded it. I have the other one in my hand. It works nice to help her set up her stuff. Or if nothing else, it at least lets you put your defense back on there. I played these cards. I got some defense going. Again, works really well with a Saber-Tooth Tiger. Put 2 cards in there, clear Saber-Tooth Tiger, draw them 2 cards. Then she has Precise Strike. The only card that has no dice rolling, just straight up 2 damage. Super helpful when you just need to finish off a guy. After you play this card, you may spend 1 energy to shuffle it back into your deck instead of discarding it. I think I was doing that wrong. I think I was putting it back on top of my deck instead of shuffling it. I probably had too much going on. I wasn't thinking straight. But yeah, if you have extra shared energy sitting around, this is a great thing to do because then you can keep utilizing it or the extra defense. But it's kind of also with her cards because she has the ability to, with this card and the other one, the Tenacity to put cards in there, she can also work as a backup defender. Which is kind of like Zack. You don't think of them as being the defenders. You think of Jason with his block card, or Billy with his high defense and his counter cards. We don't think of these guys as also being good defenders, but they are because of these abilities. Then Saber-Tooth Strike. If this attack defeats the target, you may immediately perform a second attack with 2 dice. I did not get to utilize this nearly as much as I wanted to. I was always trying to find the timing to use it, but it was also, is an enemy weak enough for me to make sure I can take it out with 2 dice? But I love the fact that then I can now attack a second guy with 2 extra dice. So I can at least hopefully injure another guy. Just some of the times it was like, either they were, they had 1 hit left, and it's like, oh sweet, I can throw this out and now I can attack this, or they had too much health and I'm just like, no, I need to utilize a bigger attack, something with more dice. But again, this is combined well with Jason giving him extra dice. Plus, if you use her ability with this and you roll 2, now that'd be the fun combination to definitely do. Roll 2 dice, defeat someone with the 2 dice, and then attack another weak guy, then play her second Saber-Tooth Strike. But that's probably not going to happen often. Then we have Power Daggers. 4 dice, after resolve this attack, a ranger choice may immediately play a card. I don't even think I used this. I should have. This is definitely powerful. 4 dice, and plus then you can immediately play another card. which then you could potentially have combined with Twin Fang Teamwork. So like you could have played this, did 4 damage. If you didn't defeat the guy, great. If you did, if you defeat him, great. Another ranger attacks someone else. If they didn't, they can keep attacking that guy or however. Then you could play Twin Fang Teamwork after the other player plays an attack to deal 1 extra damage. You could combine some nice ones. I think I overlooked this card, kind of like Zack's. I looked at the cheap cost cards, not the 3 cost, and I'm like, I don't have enough energy to keep playing 3 cost because I had 5 rangers in there. Again, if I was playing with 2 rangers and I can perform 1 ability, great. I could probably use their power ability, and that's about it. But yeah, that's kind of where that fell in line. I didn't use that enough. Then the last card to look at for this is Blade Blaster. So, awesome card in general. So this is the one that all 5 Rangers have. All the Mighty Morphin characters pretty much have this. It's just spread damage, pay X to this. I use this a lot where I got lucky enough to build up 5-6 energy. Had to just kind of like look at my future turns. Be like, okay, instead of just trying to do damage here, beat a guy, I was like, okay, if I can play this, weaken this, play this, weaken this, then I can play Blade Blaster and finish off like 3 guys. And that's just basically what these are. They're little finisher cards. Worked really well. The only problem is that Drain ability makes this really hard, and then Rita's stupid ability that may just cost 1 extra. And then finally we have the Megazord. I only got used for 1 match. But yeah, he comes out, drops 1 damage on each enemy in a location. Nothing wrong with that. Hurts. Definitely helps take out some of them putties and stuff. Yeah, just 1 extra damage on each spot is super beneficial. The only problem is I played 4 deploys, so I mean my game was a little bit longer than playing 5. You're playing 5, obviously you're drawing more things. Things are going to happen a little bit faster. Game is, you're going to have to kind of step up your pace a bit. And I just barely got him out for the last match of Rita, and I only actually got him out because of the Mastodon just spending 2 turns eliminating an extra guy for me. So I didn't have time to run around taking out extra putties and stuff. But yeah, this is a great ability. It's just, I think getting the Megazord out might take too long to do, unless you keep spreading out and, okay, there's a monster, instead of right away jumping on the monster, being like, okay, we're going to spend a turn taking out everything else first. Which you could definitely do, but then you have to worry about panicking everything. Alright, so then the last thing, I just didn't go through much, is we had Alpha. See if I can find his card here. So I had Alpha 5 here. So I tried playing a quick variant of Alpha where I mixed both the original version and the Rangers Forever version together. And maybe that was the problem because I think the original version wasn't meant to be played with this style. I thought, they should all work the same. It shouldn't make a difference, right? But I think the Alpha, the original one, is meant to be more played as someone has to be actively playing them. And then newer ones are more kind of reactionary cards. Also, again, I had 5 Rangers. I just had so many options with every Ranger card that I look over at Alphas and I'd be like, they weren't that good. Now, if I would have, at the end of every round, discarded or every other round, or my Rangers powered up, or at some arbitrary time, reshuffled them back in, redrew 3 cards, I probably would have gotten other cards that were really good. Alpha has some really good cards and it would have helped me more. But the ones I had out didn't do me any good. They're like, let a Ranger draw a different card or play a different card, and it's like, that just didn't help me. There were some that some of his cards will let you, I'm not going to pull the deck out and go through them all, because I didn't utilize any of them, but some let you teleport, or do things like that, and that definitely would have probably been a better thing for me to have. I probably used it. I think he's great for if you're playing, like, I think the autonomous support version would be better if you were playing a like 4-player game and he's your 5th player, or maybe if you're playing 5 and he was a 6th player. But if you're playing 5 with multiple people playing, like I played by myself, but if I was playing like each person had 2 Rangers, or split up a little bit more, just because in that way each person's only focusing on 2 sets of cards and kind of like, okay, these are the cards I have. I have, Pink Ranger, Red Ranger cards. What does Alpha have that might support one of these cards or work better for me? But when I was trying to play 5 decks at once, I didn't have time to keep looking over and checking what little bit Alpha did as well, because I also, again, it's an analysis paralysis was coming up. So I was trying to avoid that, because I would have had to stop and sit there and be like, ooh, this card's pretty good. Like, I noticed that Energize gave me 3 energy. I'm like, that's a really good card. But I have to sit there and decide who has a card I can sacrifice. Now, if I was just playing the Red Ranger, I could be like, oh, okay, what do I have this turn that can help in this battle? I have nothing that will help in this battle, because it's a defense block card. It's a 3-cost power card. So I don't have anything that's going to super help right now. It's the Blade Blaster. But I can look over at Alpha's cards and sit there like, oh, maybe I could use one of these. But when I have 5 characters, I have too much to sit there and try and... Okay, like, yeah, Red Ranger can't do anything. But I have 4 other characters that can do stuff. So that was kind of that. So nothing against Alpha. He just didn't work in that playstyle or that game. Alright, so that's my... first gameplay video, a little bit long review, just kind of digging through the cards. Loved all the characters, loved everything. Definitely am going to, pick up another game. I'll probably just kind of keep going through the set, so I might do some of the Kickstarter stuff next with Green and White Ranger. And then we'll start getting into some of the other colors. I probably won't do the Ranger Forever for a while, and then if I ever get through all the Rangers, at some point, I will probably start doing mix and matching stuff. Let's with different colors, do it, different things. But yeah, definitely fun. I think I'm going to probably stick with that 4 deployment just to make my life easier. Especially because, again, I'm playing by myself. If you have any other suggestions or comments that I did in the game or things I did wrong, definitely let me know, because I probably screwed up a couple of rules. I'm not going to disavow that. If I did, let me know. Or if there's something you'd like me to see me do or change, tell me that. Something that worked good. Anything to help me improve or make these videos more enjoyable or easier to watch. I do realize, am I shaking my camera around trying to cover things, was sort of weird, but maybe it might be better. Hey, just focus on the board, or don't keep zooming in, zooming out. Maybe that might be better. My VIP Ranger for this set was definitely Yellow Ranger. She is a beast. And then my second one after that, oh boy, I know I utilized Black Ranger a lot, but I almost want to say just having Billy there is my mental backup. Even if I didn't use his attack cards much, just always knowing that if I had Billy in a battle, I could rely on him. But again, no Ranger is bad. I loved all of them. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this super long video, but I'd love to keep doing these. See you guys in the next one. Bye.